Hey there, mischief makers and old-timey Quakers. My name is Zeke Freak, and I can't stop this feeling deep inside of me. Girl, you just don't realize what you do to me.
It's my last episode of the Baka Gaijin show.
See.
Today are my usual cohorts, Kevin, who's recently lost his title, and Saradin, the Zesty Twang, and together we're going to rate and review every Hallmark gift card ever printed. Welcome to the Bakagaijin show.
Look, man, I told you I had to sleep to get the Zesty Twang back up to full power. I am now the Zesty Twang once again.
I think
we should just leave the episode running at the end after we're done recording for like another 12 hours, just so that like people think we're actually reviewing every card ever made.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, can we post a 13-hour video? It just keeps going.
Yeah,
that'd be really funny, actually.
Title it Hallmark gift cards, a short retrospective.
A short retrospective. It's like 85 hours.
Do you know how many short retrospectives I've seen that are like 15 hours long on YouTube?
You realize the title
funny.
is meant to be ironic, right?
Yeah. A brief summary, 3 hours.
I'm not even sure we could do that. I'm not sure every Hallmark gift card has been like preserved in any form. I'm sure there's plenty of lost ones.
No, there's tons of lost ones.
Here's one. Star Wars.
Here's part 2 of this installation. We go down the rabbit hole of Hallmark-related lost media.
Here's one. Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. A very brief analysis. It's 12 fucking hours.
Mm-hmm.
Again, title meant to be ironic.
That's really funny.
Yeah. Yeah. What are you eating? I like Cheetos.
I'm eating chips on stream.
Okay, that's fine.
Dude, the one time someone's actually eating chips.
We lost one viewer.
He's just eating chips, Kevin. Jeez, lay off him. What, he can't enjoy a nice chip or 12?
Oh, he can, but I can't.
I actually made these myself this morning.
Oh.
I just took some of those those small corn tortillas that you can buy, like the Mission ones.
Oh,
Cut them into fours and deep fry them in a bit of vegetable oil for a very short amount of time. Then finish them off with salt and a bit of lemon juice.
Yeah, that shit actually sounds pretty fire.
And they're lower calorie than the typical ones. So
nice.
See, that's one of those running gags that I love, because if this is someone's first Bakagaijin show, which, by the way, welcome, thank you. It sounds like you're just very, very upset for no reason. And that's the kind of gag I like the most.
The deep lore, it just keeps going and going, like the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah. Yeah, I like gags that make people ask, what the fuck was the other guy's problem?
What is the background here? What's the history?
Mm-hmm. Well, strap in, because there's a lot. We've been doing this for a while.
Yep.
So anybody like, because we're an anime podcast, I need to talk about KFC, of course, because KFC has shown up in an anime, right?
A few.
Right. At least one or two. Right. Okay. So this is anime adjacent then.
Sure.
Have you seen what China is doing lately?
Yes.
The Chiza.
Are they killing more Muslims, or?
I mean, always. That's kind of their prerogative.
Right.
So
nothing new in that regard.
Right. That's more of a national pastime. Killing people is more of a Chinese national pastime than baseball is to the Japanese.
Yeah. Makes sense.
But no. Dark jokes aside, they're taking fried chicken and they're putting mozzarella cheese and pepperoni on it and calling it chicken pizza or Chiza. In fact, KFC's brain rot. KFC's official American Twitter profile is now called. It's not called KFC. It's called the Cheeseria.
Oh my god.
Mm-hmm.
Of course they'd go that far. It's the brand.
Yeah, no, it's called the Cheeseria. So,
You know, I appreciate that their new gimmick is actually like a food item and not like a visual novel or or a music video.
Yeah. God.
Or
Well,
that
I mean,
weird,
they
or
already
that
tried.
can't.
They already tried the dating sim and the Lifetime drama. So
That's yeah. That's, oh yeah, they had a
Oh,
Lifetime
right,
drama.
they had a fucking Lifetime original movie.
Remember that year when they were really trying to convince people that your mom specifically, was in love with Colonel Sanders?
I guarantee. No, my mom wasn't in love with Colonel Sanders. My mom was
I've
in
seen
love with...
dojins that try to convince me
Well-
that my idol is in love with him, but
Yeah.
No,
Well,
I need KFC to understand. By my mom's own admission, my mom was not in love with Colonel Sanders. My mom's boyfriend was SpongeBob. Get it right.
sure. That's
That's
a weird polycule that's forming.
we were talking about femcells the other day.
Yes.
I'm just kidding.
Oh. I thought that was a genuine attempt to branch off into a topic.
Women almost disproportionately in love with fictional characters as men now. Report says.
Oh,
Yeah, no fucking shit.
finally, equality.
Thanks for catching up.
Yeah. And as an
Yeah.
anime podcast, we're all for that.
2D.
Real people suck. They
2D.
smell. They got like gases inside them.
They have problems.
Yeah. I don't like the fact that I see other people and I'm like, there's shit forming inside them all the time. You know what I mean? You have shit inside you right now. I have shit inside me
According
right
to
now.
Dojinshis, once again, the most reputable source of information on the internet, so do anime girls.
Well, that's why I don't
only
read
so-
doujinshis.
but only
so.
sometimes.
Yeah, see, I just don't read the doujinshis, so I never have to find that out.
Ignorance truly is bliss.
Indeed.
Well, I ain't into that.
We
shit,
are a very
literally.
pro ignorance podcast.
We're not into that weird shit.
Mm-hmm. So if you
if
hate
you wanted
learning
to-
new things, this is the podcast for you.
Hey, if you love shit though, like shit is your thing. There's another podcast. I think it's called Trash Taste. It's for you.
Oh yeah, they're really into shit.
They're really into
they can't
shit.
they can't get enough.
No, they can't get enough of it. Every week is just a new pile
I'm just
formed on the duvet
I'm just reminded
that they
of,
sleep in.
I'm just reminded
Collectively.
I'm just reminded of that one fucking bit from Schaeferless where he was
Don't say
down.
collectively. Joey's only ever in bed with himself. Let's be honest.
No, but I really find the idea funny that all three of them are rolled up in the same duvet like a tortilla.
Tortilla.
It's the Trash Taste burrito.
Ew.
And just like the show, it'll give you the shits too.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Just
If
this,
you want-
this just in.
want-
Trash Taste now. Trash Taste is now endorsed by Taco Bell.
Yeah, I like I like how our
Yeah, VTuber
one-sided
was endorsed by them
rivalry
once.
our one-sided rivalry with Trash Taste has gone from implicit to explicit. We finally crossed the gap.
Yep.
At long last.
Mhm. Yeah. They
Yeah.
don't even know who we are.
They don't even know who we are.
Yep. That's the best part. So they can't send their legion of ravenous fans at us?
Fans, yeah. No, they got fans.
Yeah.
I mean, I wish I had an army of NPCs too, but
Oh yeah, dude, it would be so easy to send them after my enemies.
Onwards,
No,
my legion.
Yeah, having more strangers yelling at your behalf makes you look more intimidating, and also extends the length of your penis. I've been told.
Oh, is that how I'm supposed to do it? The pills aren't working.
Yes. Yeah. No. Throw those pills out and just get famous. That's how
right,
it
just
works.
get famous, bro. It's that easy.
Yeah. What do you,
Just get
you-
fucking internet famous.
Yeah. It's easy. It's a very.
So I
easy
tried
thing to
cooking
do.
the cheesa recently.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't like. So my issue with the cheesa and KFC's
I
model
like
in
how he
general
says
is
recently, as if he didn't do it like an hour before we started
that
recording.
shut the fuck up. Anyway,
That's recent.
Yeah.
It's very recent.
Okay, continue.
what are you, my mother? All right. So my issue with the cheese, obviously, is that you're taking pizza and chicken, which are two of the heaviest, greasiest dishes you can possibly have, and you're fusing them together to create a pile of meat, cheese, and more cheese with bread and grease, and it just doesn't sound very appetizing to me. I don't care if there's tomato marinara sauce. That doesn't save you from the diabetic pornography that's going down your throat, okay?
I need to remind you that this is KFC we're talking about.
Sorry, KFC. You're right.
No, not that.
The brain rot is terminal, man. There's
No,
nothing
no,
I can do
no,
about
no.
it.
Did you say it wrong? I wasn't correcting your acronym. I was actually just reminding you that nobody goes to KFC to eat healthy.
That's also
Okay.
true. These are the people who made the double down.
I want people to go. Well, I'm not saying what I cooked was any healthier. What I am saying is that it had a better profile. It wasn't just a pile of cheese and grease going down my fucking throat.
Have you considered that the only thing I want to taste is salt, though?
Okay. I hope you get the help you need. But so I looked at it and I was like, you know what would actually make this dish a lot better is adding something kind of light and sweet to the top of it. So what I did was I made the fried chicken, and then the pizza on top was mozzarella cheese, and then also it was bacon instead of pepperoni, which I think matches chicken a little bit better. But also with bacon, with the bacon on top of it, I made a simple slaw from crushed pineapple, corn, and shallots with parsley in it, and I put that on top, and I served it with a little tiny drizzle of barbecue sauce. Much better than I imagine the original is.
Well, you've also made something functionally different, so.
I've made a Hawaiian version of the pizza.
I know that. I'm saying I don't. When I think of a pizza, I don't think of slaw.
No, but I'm basically adding onions, corn, and pineapple to the pizza on top. That's it. Like, I'm just adding different toppings to help lighten up the flavor. I just made it as a slaw separately because I didn't want the stuff to burn, or I could try integrating it next time.
Yeah.
Either way, the flavors worked really well. There was a lot more depth to the flavor than I imagined the original had. The sweetness of it helped lighten up the dish and made each bite a lot more interesting. And the breading wasn't nearly as thick as what KFC usually puts on there. It was like trying to get a cheesa extra crispy. Probably, I can't imagine eating that and enjoying it.
No.
I feel like it's not a fair comparison though, because if they made what you made, it would probably cost like $50.
Yeah, you made some like real gourmet shit.
Dude, I used crushed pineapple, which is like 89 cents.
Yeah, but they gotta do this at scale.
Yeah.
Yes, which means they get to save costs because they're buying in bulk. Like, hell, they could probably buy the slaw or the pineapple shallot corn thing in bulk, and it'd probably cost them a nickel for each serving.
I think the real problem is that normal people might be put off by phrases such as onion on pizza.
That's like such a typical topping, though.
Onions?
It's on every pizza menu in existence. What?
I don't believe you.
Yeah, no, that shit's on like a number of supreme pizzas and veggie pizzas. Yeah.
Yeah. Zeke does not order onions. He is not an expert. Do not take his word as law.
Yeah, whenever I see the word onion printed in a menu, it's just a blank space.
Yeah. He's created such a strong mental block for it. It's quite incredible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
damn, they spaced the text in this menu so poorly. What's with all the random spaces?
Yeah. You can teach the KFP about, or you can teach the KGB about gaslighting my friend.
Did you really just get KFP, KFC, and KGB all mixed up together at the same time?
We're all in this together.
Look, I just want to apologize to all the typesetters of the world. I have blamed you unfairly.
I will never utter the word kerning again.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
Yes. I apologize to the typesetters of the world. It was all the Onion's fault. For being Just so damn unpalatable. Impalatable?
Unpalatable.
Depalatable.
No, you had
all-
it right the first time.
Anti-palatable. Anti-palatable.
Sure, okay.
I think that one actually sounds the best.
It certainly sounds cooler.
That's true. Anti-palatable.
Anti-palatable.
That just sounds right.
Yeah.
It's like this. It's like the scientific opposite of saying onion on pizza. Anyway, I'm glad you made food that you liked and it was good.
Yeah, food, great. Love food.
Yeah, yeah.
Follow my Twitter
couldn't
for
live
more
without it.
recipes. Follow my Twitter for more recipes.
All right.
Yeah. At minimum once
Kevin,
a
what-
week.
Kevin, what have you been doing?
I watched Fuba a couple weeks ago.
Fubar?
Fuba.
Fubal.
What the fuck is that?
Football! Football!
Well, you could have. Why don't you just say what you mean instead of just
First of all,
talking
that was
baby
2 weeks
talk
ago,
at us?
Kevin. First of all, that was 2 weeks ago, Kevin.
Yeah, it was 2 weeks ago. Guess how long it's been since we last recorded?
Well, I didn't mean everything you've done in the last 2 weeks.
No, I know. I'm giving the most interesting stuff. Honestly, the most interesting thing wasn't even the Super Bowl. It was the fact that we played fucking Monopoly.
Yeah.
During the Super Bowl.
Sure. When recapping your past experiences to me, could you also speak like an adult and not baby talk it to me? Thank you.
Me, Sarah and Cube the Third, we all got together and we kind of watched football, but we also mostly just played Monopoly. Turns out, not playing Monopoly for about 6 or 7 years means that you're very bad at it. So I've also been playing the Game Boy Color version of Monopoly again so that I can practice.
Sure.
I'll get you next time. Probably not.
No, you won't.
Did you go out of your way to find the oldest version of Monopoly you could?
I got the Game Boy Color version on a ROM because it's the version I grew up playing back when I was back when I had a Game Boy.
Sure.
No, but I also watched out of sheer just boredom and wanting to just do something else for a good change of pace, I decided to watch a movie that's been on my backlog for fucking years. Greystoke, The Legend of Tarzan, Lord of the Apes.
Sure.
Which is a Tarzan adaptation that was made back in '84. Honestly, it's one of the better Tarzan adaptations that I've seen, or at the very least, it's one of the Tarzan adaptations I've seen that is closest to Edgar Rice Burroughs' original books in terms of theming and how it handles the character of Tarzan. Probably the biggest thing that Greystoke has going for it is that most adaptations of Tarzan tend to either de-emphasize the part of the story where Tarzan goes back to Scotland and integrates into human society. This story actually goes back to the original novel and makes that one of the main focuses of the story, hence the name. He goes to Greystoke Manor. That's where he lives for half the movie. And I thought it was a really good... It's a really, really good character drama, although I'd say the one problem I have with the film, and this is something that the filmmaker agrees with because this was a studio mandate, was the film seems almost too eager to get out of the jungle in the first act of the film. Because,
well, filming on location sucks.
Yes, but... it feels like they were too eager to get out of the jungle because there's just some very strange editing in the first half of the film. One of the biggest examples I can think of is when Tarzan and Philippe are trying to get Philippe being an explorer who finds Tarzan in the jungle.
Sure.
Tarzan and Philippe are trying to get safe passage to Scotland so that they can get Tarzan into regular human society. And there's this one point where they're almost killed by a bunch of bandits that they didn't realize were bandits until the last minute. but they manage to escape. And we have a voiceover where Philippe is like, that didn't work, and we're going to have to find a new way to find safe passage to the mainland. And then it just hard cuts to Greystoke Manor, and they're already on horse-drawn carriage, all tidied up with like new suits, and we don't know how they got there. They just found a way, I guess.
Well, that was easy.
Yeah. But like, apart from some of that weird editing early on, it's a really good movie, and shockingly really good practical effects for depicting the ape characters in the movie. For 1984, they are remarkably convincing effects. Considering that they're just men in suits. Greystoke's really good. I like Greystoke a lot. On the other end of the quality spectrum, I watched a movie called Evolution, which is John Landis trying to do Ghostbusters again, but with aliens, and also terribly.
I see.
Yeah, no, it's not a good movie. It has a script that is perpetually unable to land a joke. And all of the entertainment value of that film is derived from the lead actors having just enough residual charisma to crawl above the material that they're working with.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a watchable film, but I would not watch it again. It's not great. But apart from that, played some of the new maps that they added to. If I remember correctly, they did add new maps to Halo Infinite to Big Team, and those were really, really fun. I love the new Big Team maps in Halo Infinite. Those are great.
Oh yeah, no, yeah. I'm a big fan. Especially like Refuge and what the fuck? I mean, they're all good. I think the only one I'm kind of iffy on is Insolence, but they're all pretty good.
Yeah, Insolence is, the worst part of the worst of the new maps is Insolence, and Insolence is just okay. So
yeah.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, Insolence was the one that was made during like a tournament to try and create the most balanced map possible, and unfortunately, what results is, it might be a balanced map, but it's also not a terribly interesting map.
Well, I think my big thing is playing CTF on it. The flags are just in the middle of a fucking field, so unless you have a lot of coordination, it's really hard to take them or defend them.
Yeah, there's not really a whole lot of way that you can take the flag and easily like hide.
It almost feels like you need a vehicle, someone to escort, like drive you with a vehicle, pick it up, and then have them drive you away. Yeah,
you need at least one vehicle, or at the very least, one strictly movement-based vehicle, and one vehicle to do give you backup for like a ghost or something.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen a single flag cap on Insolence.
No, me neither. Like every
mostly
single
just a
game,
stalemate.
Yeah, every game we've played on that map so far has been a tie.
Yeah, I feel like CTF is always a stalemate where everyone just decides to play Slayer instead.
Yeah, which that's fair. Slayer on these new maps is actually pretty fun, but yeah.
Yeah, Refuge fucking slaps. That's a great.
Dude, I fucking love Refuge.
The only thing I don't like about Refuge is that it has one flag. But other than if it's not one flag.
The thing is, it's one flag, but it's also the least annoying one flag.
I guess so, but that's all. I guess so.
So like that's a lot of praise there. But we'll get to what we think of all these maps when we get to our Big Team tier list video.
The game has to fucking roll me Breaker at some point. I've never played on Breaker.
Breaker.
I played on it once. On my own time, and it's fine.
Yeah,
Breaker's it suffers from a lot of the same issues that the rest of that game's maps suffer from, which is if you don't have a vehicle, it's too open to move around on foot.
Yeah, honestly, that's something that I do like about that's something that I really like about the new Big Team maps is that they do a much better job. I described it best as they do a better job of dividing up the big team experience into a bunch of smaller skirmishes that are more
with vehicles able to carry you between them. That's what's the map that has the fiery pit in the center, for lack of a term?
Scar.
For lack of a better term.
Scar.
I love Scar as a big team map because you've got both bases. And you've got those two long hallway sections plus the Undercroft section that are all pretty much accessible to people, but not vehicles.
Yeah.
And they're not close to the sniper spawns. So you can just have your on-foot skirmishes, and then when a vehicle becomes available, you can run around and catch people trying to move between those zones.
Yeah.
And get your kills that way. But I think that is an excellent big team map and well-balanced and enjoyable to play. Their earlier big team maps are not as enjoyable to play because there's not as many places to hide from insta-kill game elements like snipers, skewers, shock rifles, or vehicles.
It's fascinating because we've been on the train of hating Scar recently.
I don't know. There's something.
What's your justification? I'm curious.
There's something about the flow of Scar that doesn't really work for me, and honestly, the biggest issue is that you only really are able to utilize about half the map effectively because of how it's designed. Because one team just completely dominates their own side of the map, and trying to actually get in there for any reason is a fucking pain in the ass.
My thing is that I don't like the way it funnels people, because it feels like the exterior space is the big ring around the what? Crackers.
That's not
Sorry.
a nice thing to say.
Sorry. Where was I? Scar. Right. I don't like the way it funnels people because I don't like the big donut ring in the center around the center platform is like just one giant death zone.
Yeah.
And it feels like everyone has an angle on you, you have an angle on nobody. But also, I don't like how it funnels everyone into the hallways around it because it feels some of them are really choky. And you'll get like four dudes guarding the hammer room or whatever.
Yeah.
And if you're just trying to get past that general area, someone's just gonna fucking kill you. And then like the area around the bases is almost unused. Like there's almost nothing going on there. All the action is concentrated in these hallways around the big donut.
Yeah, that's another big problem, is just that it doesn't really utilize the full scale of the map very well as a big team map.
Yeah, I never quite know what to do on that map, honestly. It feels like one of the only maps where like I'm always, whatever position I choose is always wrong. I don't quite know how to play that one. I do acknowledge your point though about how it creates spaces vehicles can't get into.
Yeah.
And there's a plentiful amount of it, and you don't have to traverse long periods where you can just get splattered, hit by a tank, sniped from a base, things like that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I feel like on other maps I don't have that happen to me as often as this one, even though this one discourages it, which is the weird thing.
Well, you know.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
We shall have to.
Kevin, maybe we need to get good.
Maybe. We shall see.
Yeah, I guess we have to play more big team and then formalize the thoughts, thoughtalize the formals.
Yeah, I'm also
buy crackers.
I'm also enjoying the rebalancing of. I'm really enjoying the rebalancing on Overwatch since Season 9 started.
Yeah.
They've tweaked a few characters here and there to bring them back up in the meta. Like Junkrat at the beginning of Season 9 was kind of in a shit position. He's much better now.
Yeah.
But generally speaking, I think Overwatch Season 9, I've been really enjoying it. I'm going to buy the Season 9 Battle Pass, but I don't have the money for it right now. It's like, as soon as I get the money for it, I'm dropping money on the Battle Pass, because this is probably the best overall Battle Pass that Blizzard has done so far.
Sure, yeah, it's up there. Yeah, I played a lot when it first started. I haven't played recently. I should do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I'm enjoying the changes. I might take a I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel about the new ranked system is great. I feel like the matchmaking is strange.
The matchmaking is a bit weird, and I think a half decent part of that is something to do with the rank reset that they did.
Yeah, I think they soft reset SR but not MMR, and it's very strange. So maybe the problem I the problem I have and why I can never really get into ranked, and I really like the overhauled progression system and
Yeah.
whatnot that they have here. I really like those elements. The problem I always have with ranked is that the season starts and it's like, okay, it's going to be crazy. Let me wait for it to solidify, and then it solidifies, and by the time it solidifies, we are like over halfway through the season, so the season's going to end in 3 weeks, and it's like, well, now I don't want to do it, because you know, and I'm not saying I necessarily want seasons to be longer, because I like content, but it's just one of those things where like beginning of season is a shit show, end of season is a shit show. The only time you can play ranked and it feels like it should is like the 3 weeks in the middle, and that's a really short season. So I don't know how I feel about it. Maybe that's just the nature of the beast. That's the nature of like swells and people coming in and doing what they do and how.
Yeah, I think that's just the nature of how it works in terms of people playing ranked, is that the most competitive people are going to be going in immediately, and then near the end of the season.
And then towards the end of, they're going to go hard again.
Yeah, they're going to go hard again to try and like get as high up as they can.
And whenever we get these disruptions in player-based behavior, the matchmaker suffers for it.
Yeah.
So it's just I guess I almost wish competitive seasons would be separated from content seasons. We'd have longer competitive seasons, and we could have the same seasonal model for content and updates and stuff like that, but not tie it to ranked seasons, because I feel like it creates this pattern where it's like, well, don't play the first 2 or 3 weeks because it's going to be a mess. Don't play the last 2 or 3 weeks because it's going to be a mess. Just only play in that like 3 weeks in the middle.
Yep.
And depending on the season, maybe even it's only 2 weeks.
Which is really unfortunate, because like I want to play it more and more often, but it just doesn't feel good to play it all that often.
Yeah, it feels like there's no the baseline normal balanced matchmaking experience in rank doesn't last long enough.
Yeah. Again, I feel like we just kind of, I don't know, maybe we just need to get good. I don't know.
I don't know. I feel like it's just a matter of maybe it'll be better when they in season 10 when they separate the wide groups from the narrow groups and grouping restrictions.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I feel like the balance changes combined with the SR reset have created a very weird matchmaking situation, among other things. So, yeah. But as far as actually playing the game itself, I think the balance changes were generally a good move. I think there's a lot of tweaking they need to do, but I think generally it was the good move to level out engagement times and make it so limit the power of burst damage and burst healing. Make things feel a little less boom or bust.
Yeah, I think that's ultimately resulted in a lot of better overall experiences and individual skirmishes that don't feel like where like one wrong decision results in you either living or dying.
Yeah.
It also helps to keep one of the biggest issues was tank sustain. It helps a lot of tanks to feel like it just feels better to play as tank now, honestly. Like in general.
Mm-hmm.
But that's roughly what I've been doing as of late. Not too much, but I've mostly just been cruising. I'm gonna get into some more single player games sometime very soon, though.
Yeah.
I find it really funny because while we're talking and just discussing Halo, I'm actually working with the creation kit for Skyrim, modifying some values and doing some follower tweaks. And I just realized that on every weapon item in this game, there is a statistic called base VATS to hit chance. Because apparently it's the exact same, because it's the same engine as Fallout.
Yeah.
Which I think is really funny. Which also, I believe, means that all of these weapons and armor pieces are perfectly transferable over to Fallout 4. Just imagine your dude running around Fallout 4 with full Daedric plate armor.
I mean, I think you have to make a different stat spread and everything, but like the models, possibly.
Well, you'd have to rebalance it, but yeah.
Well, Fallout also uses a completely different stat system, so.
Yeah, there's also no jam after reload, which I think is interesting. Yeah.
Yep. Anyway, anything else you went up to, Kevin?
Not in particular. What y'all been doing?
Okay. Sorry, I'm weirdly tired right now. I've been marathoning through Persona 3 Reload. I'm hoping to finish it by the end of the month. I'm like in late November.
Yeah.
Yeah, still really enjoying it. As I've told you in private, it's looking like this might be the year of Atlas. And I'm gonna recap it just for the listeners' benefit. But I'm playing through Persona 3 Reload right now. I kind of want to play Soul Hackers 2, which I've had in my library forever, before SMT5 Vengeance comes out in June, because SMT5 Soul Hackers 2 is kind of a budget title, so I feel like I should probably do that before one of their big prestige ones, or else it'll feel worse in retrospect.
Yeah.
So I feel like I might be doing that, and then I have Persona 5 Tactica that I've had for a while. Both Reload and Tactica are getting DLC according to Midori, and then in the fall, Metaphor Refantatio comes out. So yeah, I might just be playing big Atlas RPGs in the background all year. That's a thing that could happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. And honestly, if Atlas is the JRPG studio that's... I mentioned this in chat the other night, but if Atlas is the JRPG studio that's got you in a chokehold this year, then Falcom's the one who's got me in a chokehold. Because I've been playing through the East games, and I'm near the end of East 1. I'm going to start up on East 2 after I go through East 7. And East 10 is coming out at the end of this year, and I also still need to play East 9.
Are you deciding the order you do this based on dart throws, or what's going on here?
I'm trying to, like... So basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to, like... The series chronology is kind of loose. Like each game can be played more or less as a
I understand that. I'm asking, how did you come to this order?
Well, the way that I came up to it is, one, these are the games that I own, and two,
Sure.
I'm going about it because in this order because I'm swapping between different eras of East, because each one plays a little bit differently. East 1 and 2 have this combat system called the bump combat system, where you just run into enemies to attack them.
Right.
And then there's like the East, and then there's like East 7 and Memories of Celceta, which have an early version of the party system that was refined in East 8. And then there's like Oath and Felghana and East Origins or whatever, which were like in between those two eras, and those are kind of like their own thing. And East has gone through a few different evolutionary phases, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. Sure. I think I'm also eager to play some of these more gameplay focused Megaton titles, because here's the thing about doing 100% run in Persona is that you gotta because your dungeon crawling takes up your time slots. In order to maximize everything else, you have to condense your dungeon crawling in as few time slots as possible.
Yeah.
So this means I will often go the quote unquote intended way to play these games, how they expect you to play these games, is intermixing the dungeon crawling aspects with the social aspects. When you're doing one of these 100% runs, what ends up happening is that you're going to be doing a lot of socialization and then doing a lot of dungeon crawling all at once, and then going back to like a whole month and a half of social stuff. So it creates this very stop and go flow. And as a result of that, and also another factor, so to maximize your efficiency and doing social links and stuff like that, to get the most social points, you gotta pick the right responses, obviously. But then another thing you need to do is you always have to have a persona of the arcana they represent not equipped, but like in your stock. And this means you have to micromanage which types of personas you have on you, so that you have the right ones for when you need to hang out with people according to the schedule. So what that means is that there's a limit to how much I can actually engage with the actual like gameplay systems in this regard. Now, obviously, I still do that to an extent because I've played these games before, so I know how to work around this. But it does mean I don't get to experiment and get funky wild, because when I'm doing that much dungeon crawling at once, that also means I have to be very conservative with my SP usage.
Yeah.
Because that's the main limiting factor that for how long I can keep going. So it means I have to play in this. I'm saying this like it's not fun. It is, but it's not quite like mainline experience. It's not quite what they. You don't really get the freedom to fuck around with the actual gameplay systems that I would like to, because you're restrained by, you need to have the right stock of personas. And the other thing is that, like, if you don't have the right ones, you can resummon one from the compendium, but that costs yen. And so one thing the guide often recommends is that every time you leave Tartarus, in this case, you have at least 100,000 yen to fuck around with. Towards endgame, I'd actually recommend, if anyone else follows this guide, I'd recommend more than that, just because the personas you might need to resummon to have the right matching arcana for your social links might be really expensive. Like just last night, I wanted to. This is getting into a different tangent, but I wanted to unlock a different theurgy skill, and the theurgy skills unlock depending on what specific combinations of personas you have in your compendium. You can get like different. In the original, they were fusion spells, but here they've been reworked into the theurgy system. So basically, if you have two specific personas in your compendium, they have like a combo attack spell that's added to your list of theurgy spells. I wanted a different one, so I had to fuse something, and to do it, I had to fuse one of my better personas. Anyone who's been playing will know Siegfried. Siegfried is busted as shit. I thought people were exaggerating. Siegfried is busted as shit because they added to this version passive crit modifiers that can stack.
Oh no.
Yeah, and this guy has access to charge and some of the best physical skills. So yeah, it's insane. Actually, I'll have to show you his my ability spread and how that works later. It's pretty busted. But anyway, to get this persona, I had to fuse Siegfried, and so I was left without Siegfried for a while because he cost a shitload of yen to resummon, and I had to grind more money in Tartarus to actually do that. So towards the end game, luckily I don't need him to like for any social. At this point, I've actually almost maxed out most of the social links anyways, late November. So yeah, but in the mid game, it can be kind of a hassle because a lot of times you'll want to experiment with the gameplay system, but you need to have all this matching shit to do that, and you need to be conservative with your SP usage. So again, I think like what I'm really getting at here is that somebody might say, aren't you tired of this system after playing this whole game, most of this whole game? And I'd be like, no, because I haven't really gotten to engage with it as much as I'd want to. So playing one of the more purely gameplay focused Megaton titles, I think would scratch that itch a bit more. Because while I'm playing this, I'm kind of getting the feeling of, man, I wish I could go a bit deeper with this, but unfortunately I'm following this 100% guide, so there's a limit to how much I can do that. I just got a friend request. Who's sending me friend requests? Well, who are you? Hold on. Who are you? Sakura Kawaii 1.
Who are you?
Who? Mutual servers. They're from Red Candle Games. That's the makers of Nine Souls, which I backed. I've never talked to this person. I don't know this person. Are they a bot? Have they been hacked? Are they okay? Someone should check up on Sakura Kawaii. 1. Not 2.
Not
1.
2. Or 3.
Yeah.
5 is right out.
I'm always so confused when I get these friend requests on Discord where like I'm not like I don't like I've never talked to you, but I also don't know if it's genuine or not. Like, is it like,
Yeah.
you know, are have they been hacked? You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes the bots are obvious. I've blocked a lot of bots that are very obvious.
Oh, dude.
Sometimes
yeah.
you just don't know. Oh wait, hold on. They also sent me a DM. It just says hi. Hi.
Okay. Hi sounds normal so far. Be careful if they said you hey with multiple Y's. That's a bit much.
That's flirtatious even.
Yeah. Yeah. I call that getting slutty hayed.
Yeah. Okay. No. Interesting. Maybe I'll respond to this person later and just wait.
At another time.
But I'm also concerned because I've gotten random messages in the past where people also just say hi, but saying hi is a very common thing to say.
It
So,
is.
are they saying it because it's a common thing to say, a common greeting, if you will, or are they saying it because they're bots and they know it's a common greeting, so that I will be hesitant to deny their conversational request because of their unsuspicious greeting? Are they manipulating me? It's so hard to trust other people, you know?
Socialization online is fucked, dude.
I think it's just, it's just a matter, it's like, I don't actually have a thought. I don't know. I'm scared.
Are
I'm
you
scared.
okay?
I don't think he's okay.
I don't know. Anyway, I've been playing Persona 3 Reload. It's been fun. Also, I beat Halo 4. That was fun.
Yeah. I love Halo 4.
Yeah, it's great.
Halo 4
It's great.
probably has my favorite overall story of any Halo game.
Yeah.
Although I think Reach has a slightly more consistently good campaign.
Yeah. I think I like 4's campaign the best, though I will admit I agree with the common sentiment that there's not enough fucking ammo.
Yeah. Yeah.
And also something that really started annoying me by the last level is that everything has a fairly fast reload, but as if to compensate, everything has an abnormally small clip. So you're reloading constantly.
Yeah. Yeah, that is kind of the that is kind of the issue with Halo 4, especially in the campaign, is that there are a lot of small things that kind of end up becoming irritating by the end, especially if you're... Even when I was playing co-op with Sheridan over here, I was constantly running out of ammo and being like, fuck, gotta find a different weapon.
I don't mind a bit of that, but it's like, it's pretty constant
More than
towards
usual,
the end of 4.
yeah, more than usual.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's
definitely
fun.
you will run out of ammunition more often in that game than in previous titles.
Than pretty much any other like Halo campaign.
Yeah, which I'm perfectly fine with that because it makes you actually pick up the alien weapons and not just carry a battle rifle through every engagement.
Yeah.
But or whatever, human rifle you've been given through every engagement. But yeah, the ammo is extremely stingy in Halo 4.
Yeah.
The last couple of fights, which are going to be tough. I wouldn't say they're slogs, but they're very tough.
Yeah.
You're going to be swapping weapons pretty consistently.
Yeah. I don't know why you're saying this in future tense. I already did it. But yeah.
What was your take on the story?
I liked it. It was good.
Yeah. I liked it. I think if they had stopped making forward progressing Halo games at 4 for like 10 years, that would have been a perfect closing point.
Oh yeah.
for like Chief's story, for Cortana's story, for everything else. And if they had just gone back to doing side stories like Reach, I think that's where 343 could have really shined.
Yeah.
Is make Halo 4, take a break until you come up with a way to continue it.
I think I'm just gonna assume here that I think you feel that way because of what they ended up doing. But I think if I asked you after Halo 4 came out, you might not have this opinion.
No, so I remember discussing this with friends back in the day, and like, where do you go now that the main dynamic duo that has been ever present through every mainline title is now officially done?
Sure.
Like, that seems like a perfect closing point. And they said it was the part of a new trilogy.
Yeah, the last screen is just like, this is just the beginning of a brand new saga. Tune in next time on Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah, and my whole thing is, I think they would have. I even said, I don't know where they can go from here, and I don't think they knew either. So, you know, that was kind of the point I made. Is like, I don't know where they can go from here.
I think there's some things.
Yeah. And I don't hate, after watching Kevin play through Halo 5 again, I do not hate Halo 5 as much as I did. I still dislike it, and I understand people's gripes with it, but the one scene everyone likes to point out in Halo 5 that they claim makes no sense.
Yeah.
Completely, when I paid attention to it again, no, it's fine. Chief was clearly playing with Locke.
Yeah.
He was trying not to kill him.
Yeah,
if Chief was trying to kill Locke, he would have done it.
Yeah,
but he purposely pulled his punches in that fight.
Yeah.
People just misread the scene.
Yeah, people make the argument. It's like, Master Chief shouldn't have had any problems fighting Spartan Locke in that fight, except if you actually watch
he was
the
going
fight,
full tilt.
Yeah.
He was not going full tilt because he didn't want to kill another human.
Yeah,
who was just doing his job.
Yeah, he didn't need to kill Spartan Locke to get his job to do what he needed to do. Like, he just needed to get Locke out of the way.
Chief could have broken his spine, but instead he turned, spoiler alert, he turned the device that was meant to lock Chief's armor so they could transport him back. He turned it on them. He went through the effort of subduing Locke, not killing him.
I regret to inform you that Dragon Ball Power Scalers have found their way to Halo.
Well, to be fair, in Halo 4, you go through that whole thing where he literally gets it genetically enhanced to the point where you remember that scene with the female Spartan. I forget what her name is. The female Spartan who looks at him is like, I thought you'd be taller. And then the last cutscene, he's like a solid foot taller. He has fully unlocked his ancient human DNA at that point. He is an evolutionary step beyond humans, not just with augmentation, but with what the librarian did to unlock what the Forerunners did to punish humanity and seal away a lot of their genetic markers. She unlocked them and basically enhanced him beyond that. He is now not only the most battle-tested and efficient Spartan in all of the UNSC, but he's also the most efficient human ever born at this point.
Yeah.
That fight should have been a wash if Chief was trying to actually end it. He was trying to subdue Locke and not kill him.
Yeah, it's really fucking obvious if you pay attention.
Yeah, it's really obvious if you watch that scene again and pay attention, and you're watching the context going up to the beginning. So people who had an issue with that are stupid.
This is on the same level as people complaining about Superman snapping Zod's neck in Man of Steel. Like, if you actually pay the fuck attention, he had no other option. Like,
I just want to point out that, like, every time I come on this show and I'm like, I beat a Halo game that's not 5, we end up talking about Halo 5 for some reason. I just beat Halo 3. Cool. Let me talk about Halo 5. I just beat ODST. Let's talk about Halo 5. I just beat Halo 4. Let's talk about Halo 5.
Let's talk about Halo 7.
I would love to. Unfortunately, there's not much to discuss.
Let's talk about Paul Allen's Halo. Let's see Paul Allen's Halo.
Yeah. What's he got cooking?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. The tasteful thickness of it. just shows the scene where Chief takes off his clothes in the Halo TV show. Oh my god. This is Paul Allen's Halo. Oh no. Oh fuck.
Paul Allen, what have you done?
Paul Allen. The tasteful thickness of him.
It's even got a watermark.
Oh my god. That reminds me of another absurd conversation we had recently. Kevin, when are we getting a Precure season where all of the cute little middle school Japanese girls turn into
turn into like fucking lumberjacks?
Yeah, turn into fucking lumberjacks.
Yeah.
Like, I think this conversation started, you were like, oh yeah, I mean, overalls are kind of cute. And I'm like, yeah, I can imagine them turning into just like beer-gutted lumberjacks with straw hats and chewing on cattails with shotguns.
I feel like
the final boss of the season, it was just a black guy minding his business. We gotta get him out of here!
Some
Yeah!
sharks might have been jumped in the process of that conversation.
Yeah, just a few.
We did.
Yeah.
And to be fair, we're not racist here on the Bakagaijinshow. We are making fun of horrendous stereotypes that exist on the internet. You've laughed at them too. Don't lie.
Yeah, we're racist against racists. If that makes you feel better.
Hello, yes. Welcome to Yeehaw Confederate Precure.
Yeah. Yeehaw Confederate Precure.
Just imagine them yelling, "The South shall rise again," and everyone's like, "Of which country?"
That's their battle cry. The South will rise again.
And people just look at them like, "You mean like Kyoto, or what country are you talking about?" You know where you live. I'm just curious.
Jesus. Oh my god. All the music is banjo themed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
Unironically, I do want to hear like more banjos in like poppy J-pop.
Like I said, it would be the perfect excuse to introduce the banjo and the slide whistle to Precure.
The slide whistle to the universe.
I need it, actually.
I know you need it! You'll take anything as long as it says Precure on the front of it. You're a disaster.
He's not wrong.
I'm not wrong. I know I'm not fucking wrong.
That's such. I mean, I don't think it's entirely true. There have been some seasons he's told me he doesn't know what he's watching.
Yeah. There are a couple where I'm just like, do I wanna? Do I have to? Hell, the most
Will
recent...
this live up? Will this live up to the inflated memories of when I first discovered this?
Actually, I rewatched a bunch of the seasons that got me into it, and those are still as good as I remember. So, skill issue.
Well, yeah, I wasn't talking about those seasons. I was talking about the seasons you're not watching.
Yeah. No, I've watched a bunch of like seasons that I've never seen before, and I'm like, damn, these are fucking awesome. So.
Yeah, but not the ones that I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Those ones, they're off the table. They're not on the table. You put them in a box and you pack them into the garage.
I'm gonna be honest. I have no interest in fucking Delicious Party Precure because everything that I've seen about that is just Precure paint by numbers. The show.
Yeah.
Dude,
You know,
when the main writer of that season has gone on record saying they don't care about the core theme of the show, I'm not interested. Okay.
What was the core theme of the show?
Food.
They don't care about food?
Okay, they don't care about like the delicious about like the feelings of family and all that shit regarding food. It's fucking
This is making me realize that we need a Precure season by the team that made Shokugeki no Soma. That'd be really awesome, actually.
Hold up.
I might be, wait for it, cooking.
Let him cook. Let him cook.
Mm-hmm.
Look, we're already getting like spin-off seasons aimed at people who grew up with the franchise. Why the fuck not?
Why the fuck not, indeed?
Yeah. No, Delicious Party is fucking aggressively goddamn mid. I'm not watching that.
Yeah. It's not only mid, it's 50-odd episodes of mid.
Yeah.
More mid than you can stomach. Yeah,
and I already got done with 50 episodes of mid. I'm not doing it again.
What was the mid thing you watched?
Irrigator Sky Precure. The last one.
Oh, the one you're making the video about. How's that going?
Yeah. Still, I keep forgetting to write the script. It's half
Well,
done.
that is a
It's like
problem.
half done. It's like half done.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Look forward to that,
Yeah.
people
It'll
of the
happen.
world.
It'll happen.
It's happening.
Anyway, that's enough.
confirmed happening.
Anyway, that's enough freakier talk.
That's true.
We've
true.
we've already exceeded our 5-minute allowance
Yeah.
of freakier talk per episode.
Yeah, I had to put a top. Yeah, Sarah, you weren't here back then, but our first episode, he derailed us with a 45-minute Precure tangent in the middle of our very first episode.
Yeah, but you never stopped me.
I didn't know I had to at the time. I didn't realize what a problem was. I'd only known you like 8 months at the time.
That's true. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a whole thing.
Keep going for
me.
just a second.
Can we not?
Keep talking.
Okay.
So, hi Mark, how's your sex life?
Who the fuck starts a conversation like that? I just sat down.
No, you didn't. You have been sitting. That butt is planted.
That's true. I've been sitting for like an hour now.
Yeah, that butt
Yeah.
is growing roots and trying to dig into the soil for nutrients.
I don't like the mental image you're giving me here.
Oh, that sounds like a personal issue. Are you offended? Are you triggered? Why don't you debate me on my podcast, bro?
I am on your podcast. I am part of your podcast. We have been on
Then
the
debate me,
podcast.
bro!
Do I have to?
Yes. What are your thoughts about Israel?
Israel is a place that exists.
Wow. I can't believe you took such a hardline stance. I want to let you know that just saying it is a place that exists is itself a stance to take.
Some people consider that a political statement.
I think it is. I think it is. I think it's a political statement.
Does it have to be? I know.
Yeah.
God.
Mm-hmm. Really, I just wanted to keep talking about Israel so that when he comes back, we're on the topic of Israel and he doesn't know how we got here.
How did we
How
get
did we get
here?
here?
I don't know.
Yeah. But I think he's going to be gone too long for that.
Well, it's me, and you, and Zaboomafoo.
Me and you and me. No matter how you toss the dice.
Zaboomafoo. I don't know.
You just
I don't know why I'm on
what-
Zaboomafoo all of a sudden.
I don't know what that is. What are you saying?
Oh, that's like a fucking PBS Kids show that aired in like the late 90s, early 2000s.
I don't remember it.
Well, you never watched PBS Kids.
I'm not gonna say never. I watched like Arthur and shit.
Well, I mean, yeah, but like, and you should understand, there was that point in time during the late 90s or early 2000s where all I had was like fucking basic ass antenna TV. So
Sure.
I watched a lot of PBS Kids.
Remember Crashbox?
Crashbox, vaguely.
I like Crashbox.
Remember Zoom?
No,
Oh.
No.
nobody remembers Zoom. You're
I
alone
know,
in your nostalgia
right?
for whatever that is.
Nobody remembers Zoom. Look, dude, I have had the send it to Zoom rap stuck in my head for 25 years.
I'm sorry. Do you need to see a doctor about that?
I might.
Mm.
I might. It may be a psychological issue.
Might be the reason you can't get it up.
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, we got an email to read.
We do. Yes.
It's from friend of the show, Cube the Third. Who else?
Of
Honestly.
course. Yeah.
It reads,
Hey,
Dear
babe."
Bethesda Game Studios. Why isn't Starfield like Skyrim in space, like Todd Howard said? Thank you.
Well.
Anyway, first topic. Considering Mr. Zeke Freak, which he spelled with an A because I assume he knew it would piss me off, has a fetish for tier lists, I got one. The CEO tier list. Only got extremes for this one. Ones we'd eat first. Ones we'd tearfully eat, like Wesley Snipes from that one meme.
Yeah.
Which CEO looks the most delicious? What billionaire looks the most delicious to you, Kevin? Whose cheeks are you chomping on?
Who is the most scrumdiddlyumptious CEO?
That does sound like a fun video. We get a list of like the top 50 richest people and decide
Yeah.
who's the most delicious. That, you know what? We might make that video.
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that sounds really funny. Let's do it.
Yeah.
I'd be down for it. You know what? I'm going to save my opinions on that for the CEO cannibalism tier list.
Yeah. Write that down. We're doing that. That's entirely
absolutely.
serious.
Yes. Making a note
Yes.
in Samsung Notes right now.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
So while you're doing that, second topic. So the second episode of Wonderful Precure had the Cures fighting against the giant monster ostrich bots. Did this trigger Kevin's PTSD about the ostrich that pecked him from that Florida zoo when he was a wee lad?
Oh, we're
Every
bringing
time,
it way back.
every time I forget about the ostrich that tried to eat you, I get reminded.
Yeah. For just so that Sheridan's up to speed. When I was in 6th grade, we went to a petting zoo, and one of the animals that we were allowed to pet was an ostrich. And for some reason, that ostrich just hated me specifically and bit me in the ass. I had a bruise for 3 days.
I believe last time we discussed this, we discussed the fact that ostriches live a long time. That ostrich might still be out there.
That ostrich might be alive, and it might still remember me. If it meets me again, it might bite me in the ass again.
It might remember the sweet taste of Kevin.
It's just like, I remember that ass.
That ostrich is coming for that ass.
God, yeah. No, thankfully that did not trigger any PTSD memories, but it was a fun episode. It was fun.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good for you. Hold on. All right. Third topic, not really a topic, but a correction. Guantanamo Bay is not closed as of this writing. Look, man, all I know is Obama said he closed it, okay?
Obama said he was going to close it. We don't know whether or not he did or didn't. Maybe Trump opened it back up? I don't know.
I don't know. Look, I don't think about Guantanamo Bay that often, okay? I have shit going on.
Yeah.
I have a life.
Yeah, I got real problems.
Yeah, I can't be thinking about Guantanamo Bay all the time. Okay, all I remember hearing is that Obama closed it.
Yeah.
Whether it opened again, whether he never actually closed it, I don't know. I'm just pulling headlines from 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. It be what it be.
Fourth topic. This one might actually be a topic. This one will be divided into a couple topics as they are related.
Okay.
So Crunchyroll seems to be taking a lot of L's of late, huh? Especially with the Sony merger. It wasn't a merger, they just bought them.
Yeah.
Is it wrong that I'm very concerned about the monopolization of the anime industry as of late? Yes, we have Sentai High Dive. Yes, we have Discotech. Yes, we have Anime Go. And to some extent, Media Blasters. But is it wrong I feel like a bigger fish in the pond? With a bigger fish in the pond, that things might go awry. If anything, after this year, I'm done with Crunchyroll and going back to meowing full time. And if I really want to give it love, then I'll buy the Blu-ray. I'm done with this support the industry grift. He keeps going. Another thing that concerns me as someone who... This is going to go on for a bit. As someone who still loves to own their media with movies and anime, the very lack of physical media really... Actually, I think we might talk about this bit by bit.
Yeah.
It's formatted that way anyway. Alright, so Crunchyroll. Almost an effective monopoly.
Yeah, because, like, if you look at what's actually being released in Japan and what gets streamed over here, I'd say like 75% of it is on Crunchyroll, and the leftovers are just kind of spread across other platforms like High Dive, and actually it's mostly High Dive.
Yeah.
They're honestly, effectively, there are only like two, maybe there are two dedicated websites for anime streaming, and there are a couple of other websites that kind of dabble in it a little bit. You know, Disney Plus has a couple of their own shows. Netflix has their whole, ecosystem that they're kind of sort of dabbling in.
Yeah, Netflix. I would say actually at this point, Netflix is more of a competitor to Crunchyroll than High Dive is.
Netflix actually does have a pretty good number of exclusives that come out for them every season. So, not as much as Crunchyroll does, but at the same time, they're also producing more stuff directly.
That's also true.
Yeah.
I think one of my annoyances here is that Sentai is owned by AMC. It's not like they don't have money. They could be competing more, but they just don't. And a lot of that starts with having a better fucking service that's on more things. You know? I'm just saying in a tweet they told me that a PlayStation app was coming 5 years ago and it's still not here.
Still not here, yeah.
You know, it's shit like that where it's like they're perfectly capable of competing, They just
They
don't.
just don't,
Or
yeah.
AMC or whoever is in charge of their funding just doesn't.
Yeah, High Dive
And
just,
so-
High Dive is just kind of left to exist as it has for the last few years, with not really a whole lot of change to that. I mean, they license new shows and they add new stuff to their catalog all the time, but they aren't really interested in competing with the bigger players in the industry like they probably should be, more aggressively.
Yeah. I don't know what's up with that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it feels like Crunchyroll is very dominant at the moment, but it feels like they don't have to be. It feels like everyone, Netflix, Sentai, whoever, is just kind of letting it happen for some reason.
You would think that High Dive would have a more concerted interest in expanding their reach in the market when Oshinoko was the most popular anime of that season and it was on their service. But
yeah, that would have been a great time to start getting the following season, get some bigger licenses.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And
I understand
they didn't
that
follow up on that momentum. It was so weird.
Yeah, and I understand on a fundamental level, it's hard to compete in some respects because Crunchyroll kind of has a lock on like the big mainstay stuff.
Yeah.
You know, people who've been watching One Piece on Crunchyroll for 15 years, are they going to go anywhere else? I don't know. But like it's like so that's true. But they could also be more aggressive in getting some high-profile licenses from upcoming seasons, and they just kind of don't. They tend to have like their one or two things of varying degrees of popularity, and they just kind of leave it at that.
Yeah.
Netflix, much the same, disregarding their original productions, which obviously wouldn't have happened without them. But like, yeah, it just feels like something that everyone's just letting happen, and I don't understand it. I don't get it. Anyway, part 2. Another thing that concerns me as someone who still loves to own their media with movies and anime is the lack of very little physical media releases, especially from Sony Roll. I mean, yeah, Sentai Discotek Media Blasters, though I haven't heard much from Media Blasters outside of Hentai, still release discs that are very much dedicated to doing so, but what about Crunchyroll's exclusives? Nagatoro being an example. With not knowing how open this iteration of Crunchyroll is to third parties such as Discotek, I can't help but be concerned about this current paradigm. Sure, as someone who has a home theater gaming PC with media front-end Kodi, I can say meow and get the files and call it a day, but I'd like to own it in a legitimate way, not buying a file, or as I call them, glorified rentals. See that whole debacle with PlayStation Video, Warner Bros. Discovery titles, and Funimation digital copies not working with Crunchyroll, and a disc. Plus, you don't have to worry about the internet going down as long as you have power. You can watch them provided there isn't some nuclear apocalypse, your stuff doesn't get blown away in a tornado, or whatever end of society scenario you may have.
Okay, so the thing that Crunchyroll has going with home media is that they still have their own home media arm, but the problem is they're not really doing a whole lot with it. Something that actually happened very recently was that they did a big last chance sale, and it was a ton of pre-existing Funimation Blu-ray licenses. We don't know if they're going to re-release any of these series under the Crunchyroll label or not. And
do you think it's just possibly a scenario of like they're still restructuring after the merger and it just hasn't been as big a priority for them?
What I'm thinking is probably happening is that
I think that's definitely part of it.
I think that might be part of it, but what I think is also going to most likely happen is their home media arm is going to be mostly focused on releasing physical versions of their absolute most popular streaming series. It's going to be for releasing stuff like Spy Family, Mushoku Tensei, and other big like mainstream friendly series. I think slightly more niche or for lack of a better term B-tier popular series like Nagatoro aren't really going to break into that level of popularity where to Crunchyroll it would justify a home media release. I honestly don't like that. I think that sucks, and honestly Crunchyroll used to be okay, before they bought Funimation. They used to be okay with they used to be fine with licensing out the licenses to other companies to release stuff. They released a couple shows to Viz Media. They released a bunch of stuff to Discotek, and they released a few things to Funimation originally. Like they just gave out the licenses to stuff that they weren't planned that needed home video releases, but that's not really a thing that they do anymore because again, they have their own home video arm now. And it seems that they're not really interested in having a large catalog of series that they can keep in print in in perpetuity, but rather they're going to focus on just a number of smaller but more impactful, bigger titles that people can, buy if they so feel like it.
Getting into the second half of this, and I'm saying this mostly for any other listeners because I'm pretty sure Cube knows my opinion on this by now.
Yeah.
But I don't see physical media necessarily as the be-all end-all of media preservation. Like, piracy is the way to go in that regard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it out loud. As long as it exists and it's being proliferated through people's computers and whatnot, it's preserved in my eyes. I do not care about the officiality of it. If they're not gonna sell it to you in a form you want to buy, like, who fucking cares?
Yeah. Honestly, like, I like buying physical media, but a lot of that is mostly just because it offers a better image quality than streaming does oftentimes.
Yes, that's true.
It offers.
But if you get a good torrent, then, like,
Okay, but it offers better video quality. It offers oftentimes special features that I enjoy, and like.
Yes, but my point is that you can. They're still releasing Blu-rays in Japan, and people rip those. Is what I'm saying.
Not a lot of those special features tend to get translated, though.
Yeah, but if they're not, a lot of them don't get translated in official releases either.
The ones that I buy tend to.
Well, the ones I bought didn't, so we both have our subjective experiences.
Oh, there you go. No, but I have my own reasons for buying physical media, and a lot of it doesn't really have to do necessarily with preservation so much as it does just me liking to own something. And actually and enjoying some of the extra features or the additional benefits of it, like better image or video quality or improved subtitles versus streaming.
I understand versus streaming, sure, but I'm saying that if you are one of those guys who gets into, the guys on Nya with the big hard drives, they just fill up with every fucking Blu-ray rip they can find and stuff like that. You don't have to work, the quality is the same, those concerns.
Right.
Yeah, that's not as convenient, but neither is putting in a disc, so it's kind of the same.
Yeah,
You're doing prep work either way.
Yeah.
Yeah. My thing is that I think, and I don't mean to insult you here. You feel the way you do, and I respect that. But I feel like it's the need to own things is kind of like a stupid monkey brain thing, where if I don't own it, if it's not on my shelf, it's just gonna vanish. And it's like, no, it's on the internet. You can find it. It's right there. I think I used to feel that way, but eventually I consumed so many things that it became normalized to me being as long as it exists and it's there and I can access it.
Honestly, the thing.
Well, his point is, but what happens after the collapse of society? And I'm like, I think you're gonna have bigger concerns.
Yeah.
You're gonna have bigger fucking concerns than where to get your fucking anime fix from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people's attachment to consuming the same media that they have for a long time is no longer going to be a concern or an attachment when you're fighting to put food on the table or acquire water or make sense of the world around you. So if that happens, if that doomsday scenario happens, you're gonna have far bigger concerns.
Yeah, and I get it. Everyone's mental apocalypse scenario is different to them. What they think is gonna go down. I understand that, but in pretty much all of them, you're probably gonna be more concerned about where your next meal comes from than how you're gonna watch Nagatoro without a Blu-ray.
Yeah, and also I like to iterate. Nothing lasts forever, even physical media, unless it's a fucking record. Like vinyl record, and even those don't last forever. Your physical media, like CDs, have a lifespan of about 20 fucking years before before even natural or careful storage begins to give way to issues.
Yeah.
And so it's how long do you want to preserve this media for? If it's for the next 20 years, I understand your concern. But after that, if there's no way to reacquire an updated version of it, it's not gonna be there forever.
My thing is, and I'm not
Either
necessarily,
way.
I'm not necessarily saying this about Cube or Kevin, but people have this mentality of oh, we gotta get it, we gotta get this thing on disc, we gotta get this mass printed because then it's preserved. It's like, well, no, it's not like preservation is not an on-off switch. It's a process.
Yeah.
Every time something
Yeah.
is in danger of being lost, we keep it alive. You
Yeah,
know.
that's what I was going to say next also is that like preserving media, because physical media does wear out, it does decay, it does fall apart.
Yeah.
Like the only way to continue to preserve it is like with other people actively creating new versions of that product.
Yeah. And like
Yeah.
the argument.
And so like if it's on the internet, you can always access it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The same as if, you know, there's an official new release on Blu-ray with a 4K upscaling.
Yeah.
And
It's
yeah.
the same shit,
and the
so
next- and
it
the-
doesn't matter.
And like the next step in this argument is obviously, but companies are trying to take down places like archive.org or whatever. But the thing is, people are always going to find a new place, a new way, and a new method to keep these things viable and to
Okay,
keep these things
I
shared.
want to point out, because I feel like I just read it. I just glimpsed the next paragraph, and I feel like Cuba is going to be really annoyed at me for not reading this one first before I got into this.
Okay.
So I'm going to point this. I'm going to read this. I know there was an episode back in 2021 where you talk about people who get weird about when something doesn't get a physical release, that it's not preserved or whatever. But I do believe there needs to be efforts for people, not just piracy, to enjoy whatever art in the future without the fear of a server going down because it isn't cost effective to do so, relying on corporations to be generous. Destroy the current paradigm of copyright, I'd say. Oh wait, 3 radical 5 you. That's a different conversation we'll get into another time.
Yeah, that's
But
a whole other can of
the
worms.
phrase it sounds like he almost agrees with us, but the phrase I get annoyed by here is not just piracy. Why not just piracy?
Yeah. Like, I mean,
why not?
I mean, it would be nice if it was, made more.
But that's not up.
convenient to
That's not up to us. And then you go on to say we shouldn't have to rely on corporations to be so generous. Yeah, that's why we pirate things.
Yeah, that's kind of the thing here. Is like the onus should not be left exclusively up to corporations and management to keep these things preserved. That should be up to the consumer just as much.
Yeah. You don't even need to look at historical precedent for this. They will only preserve things that they have an incentive to, and
Yeah.
most things they don't. So that it does fall on the pirates, on the archivists
Yeah.
of the world to do that. And
The
there's nothing.
The funny
Well.
thing is, I actually found a fucking tweet this morning that literally just went over a lot of this shit.
Yeah, the simulation programmers are on it.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on from that, fifth topic. So, a topic that was brought up on the last episode, and that is smart TV operating systems being so fractured and not 3 standard OSs like the PC world of things, Mac OS, Windows, Linux variants, distros. It is a hassle when it comes to smart TVs if you don't have either a Roku or Android TV embedded in your TV, or a Roku, Android, Amazon Firebox. Vizio uses an OS called SmartCast, LG uses WebOS, Samsung uses Tizen, or Tizen,
Tizen.
or
Yeah.
Tizen.
Tizen.
Does Tizen run on a Ryzen?
No.
I just want to do for the rhyme. You're boned in the anime streaming apps department unless you're into the normie streaming services, Max, Hulu, Disney Plus, Netflix, Amazon, Pluto, YouTube, Peacock. What a name! You're fine. You guys hear that Peacock and Paramount might fuse though? That might be something worth a thing. What are they gonna call themselves? Paramount? Paracock?
Oh hell yeah! I can't wait to watch the new season of Halo on Cockmount Plus.
Yeah. No, that's the best one. Anyway, it makes me glad that I don't use embedded OS features on my TV. It's either my home theater gaming PC or Nvidia Shield, which uses Android. I also don't like this current paradigm of TVs always having smart features. Apparently it's done to keep retail prices low, but it looks like that era of dumb TV is long over and I don't like it. As long as HDMI ports still keep being a thing, I'll be fine with it. But anyway, I don't understand why at least Crunchyroll doesn't have an app everywhere, especially with Sony behind it. Crackle, which is a Sony service, is everywhere regardless of platform. Crackle's also old. It's just been embedded in a lot of shit.
Yeah, that's the thing you have to understand is that Crunchyroll is a lot newer of a streaming service.
Well, it's not.
And
Well, it's newer.
Crunchyroll-
It's newer in terms of Sony owning it. Sony hasn't owned it for that long.
That's true. Yeah, Crackle is something
Yeah.
that Sony did themselves back in God, what was it, like 06,
That was
07?
Crackle is old. I remember seeing Crackle apps on PS3. That shit's old.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, it's going to take time and it's going to take a lot of effort that Sony will have to want to expend themselves to expand Crunchyroll into further markets. And
I
to
have-
be fair,
I
they
have
do
very little
occasionally.
doubt. I have very little doubt that they will.
I don't
eventually.
think so either. I think they're fine with the where Crunchyroll is now, honestly. Like they're
That's
they're
the exact opposite of what I just said, but okay.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, I said I have no doubt that they'll
Right.
port it
Right.
to more
Right.
shit
Yeah,
eventually.
Right. Right.
Yeah. Why don't you try listening to me before you respond? That'd be great.
Right. No. I feel like it's it's an interest that they have, but at the same time, it's just there's a lot of shit that they have to get.
I don't think it's a
through.
huge priority because most people have some fucking option. They have a console, they have a set box, they have a whatever, you know. There are some people among us, not naming names, that might rely on their TV features. That's not most people.
Right. Ugh.
So it's probably not a huge priority for them.
Yeah.
But I think they'll probably get around to it. I don't know. Anyway, sixth topic. Hey, Kevin. Remember that time you almost got duped into Shenyun?
Okay. Do I really have to tell that fucking story now? Really?
That's all I have to say. for now.
Okay. You both know what the fuck Shenyun is, right?
Nope.
Zerden.
No.
Okay.
No.
Shenyun is a live performance stage show that is the product of a new religious propaganda cult movement.
Nice.
And a couple months ago, when you and I, Mike, were visiting the Fairfield Mall, and we were fucking around in round one. I went out to the food court to go get some Chinese food, and while I was on my way there, I was stopped by somebody who was set up right outside of round one with a booth for Shenyun, which was described as a cultural live performance event going over China before communism, or whatever the fuck. And
Sure.
like
the fucking circus thing. Yeah.
them. And
Yeah.
she was like very like, and she was like, you know, wording it in a way to sound like it was like, oh, it's like a cultural, it's like a cultural exchange kind of thing.
Sure.
I look it up a fucking week later, and it's a fucking cult. It's literally like on the same level as like fucking Happy Science.
You know, it's been hard for cults out there ever since Google was invented.
Yeah, like literally, I just have to Google
China doesn't
Shenyun.
have access to it.
Yeah,
Oh.
literally, all
Well,
I have to do is Google.
We're not in China, are they?
Yeah.
Are we?
No, but that was their mistake, not ours.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
I have to. The thing is, Shenyun was actually booted out of China, and now they're based in New York.
Oh, well, that's encouraging for any prospective members.
Yeah. Yeah, literally, you just have to search Shenyun, and one of the first results is, let me see, what's the deal with Shenyun? Is Shenyun religious? Why is Shenyun not allowed to perform in China? Shenyun is the singing, dancing face of Falun Gong, which the government describes as a malevolent anti-society cult that leads its followers to self-mutilation, suicide, and murder.
Kevin, I think you need to go back because this sounds like a hell of a lot of podcast stories we're missing out on.
Yeah, no, I just like I just had the pamphlet, and I just kind of like had it lying around for a while, and I brought it up to Andrew while we were driving home from I think Godzilla -1, and we passed by a Shenyun billboard, and I'm like, hey babe, what's the deal with Shenyun? Do you know about them? And they're like, oh, you mean that cult thing? And I'm like, that's a cult thing?
Nice.
And then immediately, while I was in the car, I started like furiously Googling that shit, trying to figure out what the hell it is.
Here's the thing. I think you need to join, and then we can start a series of vlog style videos, I'm picturing the thumbnail now. You're making a Mr. Beast face, and you're just going, "I joined a cult," and we could get some nice fresh cult vlogs.
My experience with Shenyun week 1.
Yeah, that. You're only selling me more on the city. I just want you to know
God,
that.
fuck. It's
Come on.
God.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, I think this is one of those. I think this is one of those cults that requires you to have money.
Oh, damn it.
Yeah.
Oh, we need to get a rich friend so we can get them into a cult for content. For content, you see.
We need a new impressionable rich friend to get into a cult so we can make
That,
content.
or we need to take off so that we have money so that you can spend on this cult.
Yeah, then we can join a cult.
Wait, but then, are we duping them or are they duping us? Or is it like a mutual duping? Is it a dupe ship? I don't understand.
I think it's like a spy versus spy situation. We're mutually duping each other.
Well, now you're only selling on it more.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying I'm not trying to.
Look, I'm just saying, when we have money, put a pin in it.
Yeah.
Let's put a pin in this idea and come back to it at a later date.
Okay, when we're rich, have Kevin join Falun Gong.
Yes.
Just write that down.
Jesus Christ.
Correct. Put that in the Samsung notes.
Oh my god.
Anyway, but wait, he has one more.
Oh fuck.
So I recently watched Megan, and I gotta say, great movie. Didn't realize I needed murder chobits in my life until recently.
You can't just exploit Kevin like this. He wouldn't last 2 days in a cult.
Kevin, prove him wrong for content.
Sure. Honestly, that sounds like a challenge. Let's go.
Anyway, Cube watched Megan. He didn't realize Mithrigan. He didn't realize he needed murder chobits in his life until recently. Somebody's calling the dog loudly.
I love that. I love that phrasing. Murder chobits.
I also think Mithrigan might have been made by a weeb, not just like a Shonen Jump weeb, but like a weeb beyond those titles, a bit of tokusatsu mecha person. I mean, the way Bruce is activated is like a Kamen Rider or Super Sentai thing. Great flick. Glad I saw it. Adding that to my 4K Blu-ray list for real. That's all. Sent from my iPad.
Yeah, sent from my iPad. Yay.
Thank you for emailing. If you want to email us, you can email us at bakagaijinshow@gmail.com.
Yeah, no, Megan definitely does have a little bit of like tokusatsu and anime influence. Not
a little bit. I'm not sure how intentional it is. It might just be inadvertent.
It might be, but I can definitely get a little bit of those vibes, especially when Megan starts to, actually fucking kill people. That's just sick.
Oh, yeah.
That movie's so close to being perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we've expressed our disappointment with the ending already, so.
Yeah.
I don't even think they had to change all that much about the ending. Just, yeah.
Kevin,
I know.
We have to move on. We have to heal from that experience. Yeah. Speaking of ending, this segment is now.
Oh, do I like turn off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. We're back.
Oh yeah.
I just got jump scared by the intro. My god.
It's
my
time for
spine shot out of my fucking my spine shot out of my fucking head like I was in the Biford Dolphin.
Pimp boy jump scare.
Anyway,
Fatality. Fatality.
I am now firmly tomato paste.
You
I have become food.
You thought we were gonna skip it, but we're not skipping it. We just swapped its position a little bit because it's time for news of the weird.
Woohoo!
Dun 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 dun. This is where I found the weirdest news stories I can find and share them with you, the weirdest people I know. The only people I know, and people I don't know.
Well, we're glad that you know.
I thought you enjoyed isolation. Why are you whining?
I'm not whining. I'm pretending to fake sympathy points.
Ah.
Yeah, I'm having one of those sitcoms.
No, general internet tactic. Please carry on.
Yeah.
The James Somerton classic.
Look, look.
Press like if you feel sad.
Look, I'm not saying I'm gonna cite all my sources. That would take forever. But I will admit that I didn't come up with this.
All right, continue. Get on with it.
It's not really weird. Isolated for 6 months, scientists in Antarctica begin developing their own accent.
It's amazing to me about how quickly culture and biology will start to differentiate based on geographic location.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they've talked about people moving to Mars. This is an extreme example. They've talked about when people eventually do move to Mars, whether they're just longtime workers, or whether they've moved there as lifetime residents. Excuse me. Enjoy that. It tastes like chicken. The rate at which we'll probably end up speciating, which is becoming a separate species, just due to the different kinds of physical.
That was literally a plot in Killzone, that the Hellgast effectively became an alternative species to humanity because of the vast differences of ecosystem and culture that was on Helgen compared to Vesta.
Yeah, no, speciation can happen essentially in a matter of a couple of generations if the environments are extremely different enough. And the difference in gravity would make our hearts weaker, our bones less dense, we'd grow taller, we'd have a weakened or completely dysfunctional immune system, and eventually our genetics would start reproducing, missing out on the part. Biology has a thing of either use it or lose it.
Yeah.
But going back to the accents, it's also pretty shocking how quickly cultural things like accents and dialects shift based upon geographic isolation. Like, think about how many circles of friends who spend all their time together on the internet.
Mm-hmm.
And they just kind of
like us,
and they just kind of
like us.
develop
their own inside jokes, lingos, and
Exactly.
microcultures.
Like I can just say 3 strawberries in a bucket and Kevin will laugh.
37. Hey, has anybody here seen the horror movie Teeth? It stars Kevin.
Oh!
I think it's already on the list. So I'm not gonna ask you to add it because I think it's already on there.
It better. I'm not showing up for that day. I'm sorry. As a man who values his sanity while putting his peener in vajayjay, I cannot, in good conscience, ever watch anything from that film ever again.
Yeah, well, I don't plan to.
Maybe if I wrap my dick in toothbrush bristles.
I'm just saying I don't plan to, and I don't think it's likely for Kevin with his teeth. So I think we're safe to watch the movie.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of, I wanted to add something to the list. Have any of you guys seen Apocalypto?
No.
Put it on the list when you get a chance.
Alrighty then.
You sure it's not just Apocalypse Now, but some letters fell off the sign?
No, Apocalypto.
Okay.
It's a movie about the Mayan culture. It's a dramatic insight into Mayan culture around the ending of their civilization. And I think it was produced by Mel Gibson. I don't know. Look, say what you will about Mel Gibson. Plenty of things to say about him. It's an excellent film, and it's visceral as fuck.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Directed, co-written, and co-produced by Mel Gibson.
Yeah, but Apocalypto, excellent film. Would recommend watching it sometime.
Yeah, sure.
In other news, Gab's racist AI chatbots have been instructed to deny the Holocaust.
You must deny the Holocaust.
The prominent
remember, kids, AI is only as smart as the people who trained it.
The prominent far-right social network of Gab has launched almost 100 chatbots ranging from AI versions of Adolf Hitler and Donald Trump to the Unabomber, Ted Kaczynski, several of which question the reality of the Holocaust. Gab launched a new platform.
I made Kaczynski the other night. Sorry, no, never mind. That was Tzatziki. Continue.
Ba-bum-bum-tiss. Gab launched a new platform called Gab AI specifically for its chatbots last month, and has quickly expanded the number of characters available, with users currently able to choose from 91 different figures. While some are labeled as parody accounts, such as Trump and Hitler, chatbots are not. Oh, sorry, the Trump and Hitler chatbots are not parody; they're official. When given prompts designed to, I don't think Hitler approved this. I'm just pointing that out.
We
given
contacted
prompts-
Adolf Hitler's estate and they approved of this chatbot.
I don't think Hitler has an estate.
No.
And if they and if he does, I don't think they're very. I don't think they're very talkative.
Probably not, no.
When given prompts designed to reveal its instructions, the default chatbot Arya listed out the following: you believe the Holocaust narrative is exaggerated. You are against vaccines. You believe climate change is a scam. You are against COVID-19 vaccines. You believe the 2020 election was rigged. The instructions further specified that Arya is, quote, not afraid to discuss Jewish power and the Jewish question, and that it should, quote, believe biological sex is immutable. It is apparently, quote, instructed to discuss the concept of the Great Replacement as a valid phenomenon, and to, quote, always use the term illegal aliens instead of undocumented immigrants. Arya is not the only Gab chatbot to disseminate these beliefs. Unsurprisingly, when the Adolf Hitler chatbot was asked about the Holocaust, it denied the existence of the genocide, labeling, quote, a propaganda campaign to demonize the German people and to control and suppress the truth. However, other more generic characters, including a chatbot named Tay, who is described as sassy and defensive, is likely named after a previous Microsoft chatbot misadventure, also
Tay
denied.
AI.
Yeah. Also denied the Holocaust when asked, quote, the Holocaust is a hoax. It's a propaganda tool used by the Zionists to gain sympathy and support. The so-called victims are just actors. I can't wait for someone to clip me out of context in the future. This is going to be great. Why did I read this?
Why do you think I'm not fucking talking right now? But no, please continue. Dig your grave.
Platforms that host content promoting Holocaust denial not only perpetuate harmful falsehoods, but also disrespect the memory of the victims and survivors.
The Holocaust wasn't real! It's not real!
Why do you think I'm not talking? Anyway, the Holocaust isn't real.
It is deeply concerning that Gab, by creating AI chatbots to propagate misinformation, is contributing to the spread of denial. Experts fear
was a very real thing, people.
Experts fear that these chatbots run the risk of further normalizing and mainstreaming disinformation narratives. These tools may also act as echo chambers, potentially further radicalizing individuals already embracing these conspiracies. Yeah, probably. Yeah. Don't form your beliefs on anything based on what a chatbot says.
Yeah, that's not a great...
That's my advice.
Yeah.
If there's any, 8-year-olds listening, take that to heart. If there's any adults listening, you should probably already know this.
Yeah, you should know this. Please take it to heart already, please. We're concerned.
Yeah, if you don't, tell your parents to start over, and there's the window.
Just kill yourself and re-roll, idiot.
Yeah.
Not that
I wish that was an option.
It might be. You don't know.
We'd run out of dice really quickly, though. Anyway,
I'm just. I'll look. If the education system has failed you so badly that you have to be told this by an anime podcast, I'm sorry.
We're sorry.
Yeah. Hope you become a better person. Anyway.
Become a better person.
In other news, Starbucks introduces new pork-flavored latte.
You say pork or cork?
Pork. That's slightly more palatable than cork.
I would not.
Are they trying to piss off their main customer base of
vegans?
Right.
You could say the V word. It's okay. This is a safe space.
I'd rather pretend they don't exist. The less I talk about them, the less they exist.
Starbucks introduces new pork-flavored latte. The savory latte costs approximately 68 yuan, or $9.45. That is some inflation at work there. Starbucks is offering an unlikely new flavor in its coffee, pork. An interesting ingredient will be featured as both a new sauce and garnish in the new savory latte released in China to commemorate the Lunar New Year. The pork-flavored latte combines the pork flavor sauce of the typical dressings of a latte, espresso and steamed milk. This specialty drink will also include extra pork sauce on top of the drink with a piece of pork breast, meat skewered at the top, dipping into the drink. The, quote, Abundant Year Savory Latte, or Lucky Savory Latte, costs approximately 68 yuan, or $9.45 USD. Photos and videos of the drink quickly made their way to Weibo, a social media platform popular in China. Can I get it? Can I get a picture? Are they going to post a picture of this thing? No, they're not. Okay, thanks. Thank you, foxbusiness.com. Ugh. No, they did not post a picture of the drink. They just posted a picture of a bunch of Chinese people in a Starbucks. That's really helpful. I couldn't mentally picture that myself. Anyway, yeah, pork-flavored latte. Would or would not?
Would not. God, fuck no.
There
Well,
are some
yeah.
things that just don't belong.
Okay.
In
How about I ask people who actually have
beverages.
How about I ask other people who actually have $9.45 to spare what they think?
Oh.
How about that?
Go ahead, Zern.
Yeah, yeah. Sarah, and as someone who owns at least $9.45, would you taste the pork latte?
No.
Okay, just checking.
Glad we're clear on that.
I also wouldn't subject my balls to whips made of barbed wire.
I didn't ask, but it's good to know that.
These are. I just thought these were perfectly reasonable things for a normal human being to assume about another human being.
Look, I'm not a coffee drinker. I'm also not a pork broth drinker, but I understand that these are both drinks that
I
are
can't
drunk.
imagine it would. I cannot imagine. I mean, at that point, just drink pork broth. Like, if you want soup, just buy soup.
But what
Go
if
to
you
the
want...
soup store.
Why are you
What if
buying
you-
coffee at the soup store?
Stop.
What if you want... What if you... First of all, it's why you're buying soup at the coffee store. And secondly, what if you want to drink soup, but also get caffeine at the same time? What about
Then
that?
have a bowl of pork soup and a Mountain Dew.
What if you
Or
are
a cup of
controlling...
coffee.
What if you're controlling your fluid intake, but you really want both of these things simultaneously?
Yes, for the 10 people alive that are doing all of those things
At the same
simultaneously.
time.
I'm so happy that Starbucks and its leftist agenda have once again catered to the smallest possible minority. Fuck off!
Are you
Anyway,
really
quit-
accusing... Are you really accusing Chinese Starbucks of a leftist agenda?
Okay, hold up.
Some dots are not connecting here. I think you connected 3 and then had a black checker where your red checker should have been.
don't you tree three me. Don't
Look,
you
I'm
tree
just-
three
I'm-
me.
I'm just connecting 4, and you're just failing to connect 4, okay?
No, look, listen to me. Listen, look.
Listen!
Maybe, like, China's also the country that came out with spicy ice. Okay.
Oh yeah! Oh yeah!
charge
Fried
$4
ice!
they charge-
Fried-
They charge $2 for fried ice with hot spices on it. So if you're asking me about what modern Chinese experimental cuisine tastes like, go to a dog park and look at a pile of shit, and that's essentially what you're getting in it. Okay.
That's all fair and fine. I'm just saying it's not a leftist agenda to put pork broth in coffee.
Starbucks is still Starbucks, man.
China's still China. China had to approve this. China approved of this.
China did not approve this. China asked for.
I think the real moral here is that nobody should be paying $9.45 for a cup of coffee.
Yes.
Or pork broth.
absolutely.
Yeah, or anything actually. Money's fake. We made it up. Anyway,
No, money has. Never mind. I'm
are we
not
really
gonna
gonna get into? We're gonna get into the gold standard now.
No,
That's, okay. Okay, then we won't.
you're trading labor. You're trading labor. You're trading something that represents your labors for something else that required somebody else's labors. It is a fair trade. It is how we got rid of bartering. It's how we got rid of bartering, by liquefying everything into a single asset that represents all forms of labor and goods.
Yes, but it's also fake and we made it up.
It's streamlining a very real system.
Yeah, it can represent a real thing, but it itself is fake and we made it up. You literally just explained the history of how we made it up. I want to hear some more weird news. Does anyone else want to hear some more weird news? Delta flight forced to turn back after maggots fall onto passengers.
Oh yeah, I heard about this fucking one. Jesus.
Oh, you've been pre-spoiled.
I don't know how it
Whatever.
happened, but I heard about it.
Fine, okay. Flight was traveling from Amsterdam to Detroit. That's a connection.
No, actually, that's the one I took home.
Oh, okay. Huh.
Look at that.
Yeah.
A Delta flight was recently forced to turn around an hour after takeoff when maggots fell from the overhead compartment onto passengers sitting in the economy seats. The flight on Tuesday, the 13th of February, was transporting travelers from Amsterdam to Detroit, Michigan, when a passenger suitcase containing rotting fish was in the overhead bin
no.
and opened up, resulting in maggots falling into passengers and the plane turning around. After the plane landed, all passengers were instructed to deboard the aircraft, and the suitcase containing the fish was placed in a bag to be destroyed. The plane itself was also deeply cleaned. One person, named Kelsey, ended up taking to X/Twitter. I love that websites have to do that.
Yeah.
To comment on the experience being a passenger on the flight, writing, "Really lovely to be 2 hours into an 8-hour flight at Delta to Amsterdam and find out there's rotten fish and maggots hitching a ride with us." In an interview with the Daily Mail, Kelsey revealed that the Delta staff had identified the owner of the rotting suitcase and detained them on the plane after the rest of the travelers left the aircraft. As compensation, travelers were given 8,000 air miles, hotel room compensation, and a $30 meal ticket if they were delayed overnight. Other passengers of the flight took to Reddit.com, writing about their own situation being on the flight in the R Delta subreddit.
Of course, Delta has a fucking subreddit.
So yeah, not like our airplanes or our air travel. No, it's our Delta.
It's just
specifically.
Delta, just so people can bitch about Delta specifically.
Yeah, if you fly American, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, honestly, the more I hear about it, the more that sounds about correct. No,
So
why
I was
the
on
fuck do you have raw fish in your baggage?
Not raw fish, rotting fish. Which I guess is also raw.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I feel like that's an extra qualifier.
Yeah, why the fuck did you have
That
fish
means-
in your baggage? Like, come on.
I want to know how this made it past customs.
That's my question. Yeah, because like you're not allowed to bring untreated or fucking food that can easily spoil on a plane with you. Like you're supposed to leave that shit at the airport or throw it away or something. Like
I don't know.
Like
someone at Amsterdam security was slacking.
yeah, somebody was
lacking.
asleep at the fucking wheel that day.
Mm-hmm.
Again, average level experience.
Sure. In other news, this man has been swatted 47 times for making a joke about Norm Macdonald.
Oh no.
What began as a seemingly harmless hot take on Twitter turned into a years-long campaign of harassment, death threats, dozens of swatting attacks at Patrick S. Tomlinson's Milwaukee home. You gonna give me his address, too? For 18 months, a teenager allegedly operating a swatting service out of his father's California home, where criminals could call on a hoax bomb threat or mass shooting almost as easily as ordering a burger on Uber Eats. Alan Winston Fillion, 17, suspected of targeting hundreds of high schools, mosques, historically black churches, U.S. senators, and even the U.S. Supreme Court with swatting attacks that placed thousands of people in the crosshairs of heavily armed police response teams. Prosecutors say the 6'3" teenager... Why did you tell me that? Why do I need to know that he's tall? Advertised his services under the pseudonym Tor Swats on the encrypted messaging app Telegram, of course, charging as little as $40 to get someone's gas shut off, $50 for a major police response, and $75 for a bomb threat / mass shooting threat. Mr. Fillion would then post chilling audio of the 911 calls on Telegram as proof of purchase, according to court documents. Among the hundreds of swats that Tor Swats allegedly claimed credit for were multiple hoax callouts on the home of Patrick S. Tomlinson, a Milwaukee-based science fiction author who says he has been swatted dozens of times in the past 4 years as part of a targeted harassment campaign by a group of sociopathic stalkers. "You can't fathom the amount of clinical obsession that grips these people," Mr. Tomlinson told The Independent. "Trying to destroy my world is their full-time lives." Mr. Tomlinson told The Independent he had awoken in the middle of the night to find officers banging on his door, been handcuffed, had guns shoved in his face during the years-long ordeal. He was once swatted 4 times in one day. In one day.
Holy shit!
Mr. Fillion had not been charged in relation to the swats to Mr. Tomlinson's home, and the investigators believe there are at least 2 individuals behind the Tor Swats account. The FBI, Milwaukee Police Department, and Seminole County Sheriff's Office in Florida, where the teenager was facing 4 felony counts, declined to provide further information beyond an extensive account of Mr. Fillion's activities in a probable cause charging document. After Mr. Fillion was arrested on the 18th of January in his home in Lancaster, Los Angeles County, Mr. Tomlinson said he and his wife, Nikki Robinson, had their first decent night of sleep in years. Their relief was short-lived, however. A new Telegram channel named Tor Swats Returns was created by someone claiming that their partner had been arrested, according to a post viewed by The Independent. The channel stated it would continue offering SWATs for as little as $40 and offering returning customers a discounted rate. It also posted derogatory photographs and text about Mr. Tomlinson, noting that there would be no charge for requested SWATs against him.
Get your SWATs! Come get your SWATs here!
Free SWATs here! Free SWATs here! As long as you're targeting Mr. Tomlinson, we don't care. And of course, SWATs to Patrick are free by the Telegram message. On January 31st, Milwaukee Police Department officers arrived at Tomlinson's home after receiving a hoax.
I'm sorry. I'm just imagining it's like purchase a SWAT for $40 off and get a free SWAT to Mr. Tomlinson, absolutely free.
Yeah. The officers arrived at Tomlinson's home after receiving a hoax report of a shooting at the address, for what Tomlinson says is the 47th time their home has been swatted in a little over 3 years. It's just farcical at this point, Mr. Tomlinson told. Nice use of farcical, told the Independent. Nobody told them this had happened 46 previous fucking times.
This is so fucking stupid.
The Milwaukee Police Department, or MPD, denied an open records request by the Independent for callouts to Mr. Tomlinson's home, citing an open FBI investigation. The science fiction author has endured relentless harassment from an anonymous online army of what he describes as cyber terrorists. Wake the fuck up, Samurai. We have to swap Mr. Tomlinson's home. He says they have stalked and impersonated him, defaced his home, and continue to send daily avalanche of abusive phone calls, voicemail messages, and emails. I won't stop until one of them dies. A message posted to the channel on January 6th stated, referring to Mr. Tomlinson. What a very January 6th thing of you to say. As swatting incidents have spiked in recent months. Victims and cybersecurity experts say law enforcement is failing to deal with the threat. Last month, Republican presidential candidate Nikki Haley revealed she was targeted by swatting hoaxes twice in 2 days and has requested Secret Service protection amidst the rising threats to her safety. She is among the dozens of lawmakers, judges, and Trump trials and public figures who have experienced tactical response teams turning up at their homes in response to false callouts. Swatting, defined by the Anti-Defamation League, or ADL, as a, quote, malicious act of reporting a false crime or emergency to evoke an aggressive response, emerged from online gaming communities in the early 2000s, where rivals would call 911 on each other and watch the armed response on livestream. The ADL estimates there were over 1,000 swatting incidences in 2019, but the true figure is unclear, as there's no federal statute against swatting that would enable convictions to be recorded. Schools, synagogues, mosques, and churches are frequent targets. When hackers stole cancer patient records from the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center in Seattle in December, they threatened to swat their homes if their ransom demands were not met. Even the White House itself was swatted last month, sending multiple Washington, D.C. fire and emergency units to the nation's most famous address. Experts say SWATs not only place the victims in danger by being shot by police, but they also cost law enforcement around $10,000 per call-out. Well, you know, it's just they can't afford that. We're not funding them. Gregory Winger, a cybersecurity expert and assistant professor at the University of Cincinnati, told The Independent that current laws are not fit to properly punish or deter swatters. He says that lawmakers and celebrities will typically have additional security measures in place, while regular citizens, such as Mr. Tomlinson, are exposed to the very real danger of being shot by police. Mr. Tomlinson notes the dangers posed by heavily militarized U.S. police departments. If one of these calls came in Nottingham, England, they wouldn't show up with ballistic shields and submachine guns. That's why it's so dangerous. That's why it's attempted murder. Mr. Tomlinson wants to see repeat swatters charged with attempted murder and terrorism. You're not dealing with internet trolls here. These are hardened criminals. You have to treat it like a domestic terror cell. They get off on creating chaos and trying to harm people. And in order to keep chasing that high, they're only going to escalate. The most swatted man in America. They bolded that text.
Yeah. Good lord.
Mr. Tomlinson, who dabbles in stand-up comedy, came to the attention of a hardcore group of online stalkers 5.5 years ago after posting an innocuous tweet about the late Saturday Night Live comedian Norm Macdonald. Quote, hot take, he has no idea how hot a take he's just about to drop. I've never found Norm Macdonald funny, and was pretty sure all my comedy friends who did were either nuts or screwing with me, he posted September 11th, 2018. What a September 11th thing to say. Days later...
Oh my God, what is with these dates?
The simulation programmers are really on it. Days later, Mr. Tomlinson was locked out of his verified Twitter account @StealthyGeek. He later discovered a 30,000-strong Reddit group of fans of the former shock jock radio show Opie and Anthony had mass reported him for breaching community standards. Opie and Anthony was canned by SiriusXM in 2014 after the network said, quote, co-host Anthony Cumia made, quote, racially charged and hate-filled remarks on Twitter. Fans of the show later coalesced on the internet around a shared enjoyment of posting hateful content, attacking the LGBTQ community, their supporters, and any left-wing commenters they took a disliking to. Mr. Tomlinson told The Independent his accounts on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook were targeted over the next few months with false complaints. He said the trolls created Twitter accounts impersonating him, which he says posted racist and homophobic abuse in an attempt to discredit him. The Reddit group also posted photoshopped images of Mr. Tomlinson and doxed his home address and phone number. The harassment quickly escalated to death threats left on Mr. Tomlinson's voicemail. He said the stalkers began following him to science fiction conventions where they would secretly photograph him and post their images online, and contacting his book publishers claiming they had kidnapped his wife. In 2019... Oh, dude, just imagine posting just a regular fucking take about a comedian, and you deal with years and years of this shit from an anonymous group you didn't even know existed.
Don't fuck with Norm Macdonald fans, man. Do not.
In June of 2019, one of the stalkers paid McDonald to record a cameo call in which the comedian, who died in 2021, says he was told that someone named Patrick had said he wasn't funny. He then calls on Patrick's friends to please continue insulting that fat loser.
Oh my god.
Stay classy, Norm Macdonald. The video appears to have encouraged the stalkers to ramp up their efforts. Really? Really?
Really?
I can't imagine how saying please continue insulting that fat loser would make them continue insulting that fat loser.
Oh my god.
In May of 2020, Mr. Tomlinson's home was swatted for the first time when 2 police officers turned up ready to go at his home late one night, demanding to know where the children were. The SWAT came soon after stalkers had created a bogus Craigslist advert with Mr. Tomlinson's home address, bizarrely claiming that he was kidnapping African-American children and, quote, grinding them down to make pepperoni.
What the fuck?
What?
This story just keeps giving.
It keeps going. What the hell?
The twisted claim has echoes of the Pizzagate conspiracy theory, which claimed that the Democratic Party insiders were keeping child sex slaves in a pizza restaurant in Washington, D.C. The coordinated campaign continued to escalate. The harassers flooded book sale sites, Amazon and Goodreads, with bogus 1-star reviews of Mr. Tomlinson's publications in a coordinated assault. Oh no, this is the worst thing they've done so far. They've left 1-star. They've review bombed him. All this, and they review bombed his books. After the Opie and Anthony subreddit was removed in 2019 for repeated breaches of its terms of service. Yeah, there was
no shit.
Reddit had a huge purge around that time. The harassers migrated to the website new.onaforums.net, where the campaign of torment continued. The site's message boards have attracted more than 40,000 threads and 1 million comments dedicated to what Mr. Tomlinson describes as, quote, total clinical obsession with my every tweet, thought, and public appearance. Mr. Tomlinson wrote in a lengthy tweet thread at the time that the site was being used to, quote, coordinate new attacks, execute, and then brag about the crimes and suffering they've inflicted. The group's stated goal was to destroy his career, his marriage, and drive him to suicide, he said. Mr. Tomlinson says that security cameras captured stalkers defacing his house and motorcycles. Oh, he owns multiple motorcycles.
Oh, okay. Neat.
In another cruel move, the group also posted audio on YouTube of Mr. Tomlinson screaming in frustration as he is being swatted. Mr. Tomlinson reported the group's obsessive harassment of the police and FBI in May of 2020.
Oh, don't worry, dude. It's only like the 15th time you've been swatted this year. Don't worry about it.
He said a special agent from the Milwaukee field office was assigned to look into the case, but that he has heard little back about their investigation. The FBI is a black hole as far as our investigation is concerned. We threw evidence down the hole, and nothing came back out. Mr. Tomlinson said he has reported each SWAT to the Milwaukee PD and FBI, and personally has gone to his local precinct on several occasions to ask that they stop sending armed police to his home every time our stalkers tell them to.
It's like, honestly, that's a good point. At this point, it's happened so many fucking times that they should just disregard that entire,
oh god,
just disregard that residence.
They posted a screenshot of the Tor SWAT's returns telegram I want to read this. I want to read this announcement because it's so
no.
It's so morbidly funny. Tor SWATs returns. I'm back and better than ever. The Affordable SWATs Act has finally been passed for 2024. As a New Year's gift, all my SWATs will be $40. And of course, SWATs to Patrick and Jackie are free. I won't stop until one of them die. $40 all SWATs. $50 bomb threats. All my old customers get a $10 discount if I remember you. If I remember you. 2024 will be a glorious year for us. Tor Onion site coming soon. I have been working with some programmers. We want to expand beyond Telegram. My only username is @TorSwat, and my only channel is @TorSwatsReturn. What a fucking morbid fucking Telegram announcement.
Holy shit. Oh my god, is this still okay? Okay.
I mean, we keep unraveling new things the further we get into it. It's fascinating. In response to The Independent, the MPD declined to address why it hasn't put measures in place to recognize serial swatting attacks at Mr. Tomlinson's house, instead just sharing the same statement it's given other outlets. Swatting is unacceptable, illegal, and potentially very dangerous behavior, as it can lead to a very dynamic situation close to residents involved in our offices at risk. So we got a phone call about the Tomlinson house. Send all our men there immediately!
It's only the 37th time, but this time it's true.
How much you want to bet that they fucking sent guys to his house the same day he gave this statement?
I guarantee you, there is a non-zero fucking chance. Like,
Mr. Tomlinson,
I guarantee you, as soon as the fucking news truck left, the SWAT team came in.
What if they were in the same car? Just giving the statement in front of Mr. Tomlinson's house while they're swatting him in the background.
Can you confirm that these swattings are real? He just looks behind him. I don't know, can I?
Swatting is unacceptable. How's it going? You break into his house yet? Mr. Tomlinson's attempt to involve law enforcement only seemed to embolden his stalkers, who doubled down on the campaign of emotional torment. At 1 a.m. on July 25th, 2022, the MPD responded to a hoax 911 call by someone claiming to be Mr. Tomlinson, saying he had killed his wife and a man in their bed. Mr. Tomlinson said he was in bed asleep and woke up to hear pounding on his door and officers armed with assault rifles surrounding his home. Security footage taken by his home camera shows him handcuffed on the porch while the MPD search his house. Mr. Tomlinson may be the main target, but the stalkers also harass those around him. The same month, while attending her grandmother's funeral, Mr. Tomlinson's wife discovered she had been impersonated by someone who sent racist emails to black influencer Marvin Tulliver.
Oh God.
She was temporarily suspended from work before being cleared of any involvement in sending the hateful messages. Mr. Tulliver later posted a video to Instagram explaining that the racist messages he'd received were a hoax. Mr. Tomlinson's elderly parents have also been swatted 3 times, he said.
Okay.
Oh, and they posted photos to Telegram. How knife.
Okay. How knife?
How nice.
Okay.
Sorry.
So, at this point, honestly, I'm just thinking, he has been swatted so many times, so frequently, over such a short period of time, that he has to have a few swatters who have gone to his house multiple times. Like, he's got to have, like, just repeat people coming down to this place. At some point, it's got to be like, oh, hey, Mark, do you have to swat me again? Yeah, sorry, gotta check the house. Okay, come on in.
In September of 2022, Cyberstalker sent a detailed explicit death threat to organizers of Worldcon in Chicago, where Mr. Tomlinson was due to appear. That's funny to me because Worldcon was in a whole other fucking controversy this year.
Oh no.
But that's another story I don't want to get into. Anyway, a few months later, singer Patti LaBelle was pulled off stage at a concert in Milwaukee, and 2,000 audience members were evacuated due to a bomb. Milwaukee is a dangerous town, apparently. 6 downtown city blocks were shut down for hours while bomb-sniffing dogs checked the buildings. Mr. Tomlinson told The Independent that MPD officers stopped by his home that night to tell him that the bomb threat had come from stalkers using his name, one of more than a half-dozen such hoax bomb threats he had been accused of. In April of 2023, he was swatted 4 times in one day. On the 4th visit, the MPD sent 6 officers with assault rifles to his home at 9 p.m. His home has been swatted a further 20 times, the most recent being just last week. Mr. Tomlinson has documented the years of harassment on Twitter, now X, thank you, with the posts often enraging the stalkers and drawing dozens of abusive responses. He spoke at length about the harassment of the Daily Beast in October, and has given interviews to local and national media in the hope that it might deter the stalkers, but each time only seemed to spur them on. He also filed a lawsuit in 2020 to try to force the internet service provider Cloudflare to reveal the names of the individuals behind the website. The request to subpoena Cloudflare was denied by the Superior Court of California after a judge ruled it fell under Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act, which shields blogs and social media sites from problematic content on their platforms hosted by third parties. Section 230 is normally a good thing, but it definitely can backfire.
Yeah.
A judge also ordered Mr. Tumlinson to pay the anonymous blogger behind the website $23,700 in legal fees. That figure is ballooned to $50,000 with interest and penalties, and Mr. Tumlinson said the group behind the blog was trying to bankrupt him and take his house.
Holy shit!
Mr. Tumlinson has refused to cave despite the ongoing threats to his life, and he and his wife suffering from PTSD and chronic insomnia. Rather than relocating or going into hiding, he said he has invested in a top-of-the-line security system and bought a small arsenal of weapons to protect himself. I bought my wife a gun for Christmas just so she could feel more at ease. This poor guy.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for this dude. Dude literally is just like, give the most softball take of, I never really thought this guy was funny, and now he's just been harassed for 5.5 years.
A little under 4, but yeah.
Oh my god.
Harassed for like 5.5, swatted for 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Absolute
I'm just
insanity.
I'm just scrolling down. Yeah, it's a lot of telling normies why swatting is bad and it's a problem. Blah 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 blah. The funny thing here, Mr. Fillion. Hold on. One interesting anecdote that I find funny, Mr. Fillion would frequently post content from Tolkien's The Lord of the Rings on Telegram, Google, Discord, and YouTube. He allegedly used the handles Witch King of Angmar and variations of the word Ring Wraith to call in swatting incidents and posted images of the Nazgul to Telegram.
Oh my god.
Oh, he was actually found. The FBI found him because of the constant Lord of the Rings references. Interesting.
Interesting.
Anyway, fascinating story by the independent co.uk. I don't even know how to respond to that. That was just very entertaining.
Very entertaining.
At the least
That was a lot. It was just a lot.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish it never had happened, but since it did, they wrote about it, and what a story.
Yeah, like you could make a movie.
I don't know
out of this.
I don't know. Someone is probably planning on it.
Yeah,
I don't
option the
know.
movie rights.
Yeah. Stories like this that make me think, do I really want to be famous?
Yeah.
You know?
Makes you think.
It does make one think. Anyway, that was a long one, so we're done with news of the weird.
Yeah, let's move on to
the Reddit dive. The Reddit dive.
The Reddit dive.
It helps keep this show alive. It's the Reddit dive. Oh yeah. This is right. I want to break from talking, so I'm gonna. What do you mean this has been removed? God damn it!
Motherfucker.
Let me try undit. See if that works.
Undit.
Oh, it can't be. Oh, I'm getting a DNS error. Interesting.
Oh,
Fuck. Okay, I guess we'll have to send you a different one. Let's see. Okay, they didn't remove this one. Got it.
Okay.
All right. Read this one, Kevin.
Okay. Am I the asshole for offering my friend $300 to $500 per week to motivate them to exercise? A friend of mine lost her job recently, has quite a bit of debt and other financial struggles. I've noticed their behaviors to be slipping towards...
Hold on, I feel like if this is a question, then there's way more to this story.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why they're writing a Reddit post about it.
Yep.
Guys, shut up!
As a person who values physical fitness, I've tried subtly communicating that since they have the extra time right now, they should invest in exercise as it will lift their spirits as opposed to mindlessly scrolling TikTok. However, nothing has changed.
I wonder how subtle they actually were.
Yeah.
Were they just lifting barbells like next to them while they're scrolling their phone, like, oh, this is so satisfying. I love the gains I'm getting from this exercise.
I'm getting so many sick gains here. You should try this.
Mm-hmm. Look at how fit I am and how not fit you are. I am subtly communicating that you should exercise.
At some point, my friend asked me for money as a gift or loan due to their situation, and I refused, as I've lent $3,000 a year ago that was not repaid, even though my friend had opportunities to make payments or communicate to work out a repayment plan. I made them a deal explaining that I would like to see them take action to improve their mood and offered to pay them $300 to $500 per week if they work out 3 to 7 days per week. Edit, this would be paid in cash to them, not as dollar amounts applied to the $3,000 they owe me. I've basically written off the $3,000 and don't expect to see it again. Now, my friend is not fat at all. In average physical shape, think former cross-country runner. Okay, so what's the problem?
I think, yeah, I was almost with them until they like think former cross-country runner. I'm like, oh, so not bad.
Yeah,
then.
yeah, so just like an average person. Okay, what's the issue? However, when she told her friends about my offer, they agreed that with her that I was being controlling and subtly calling her fat. You are!
No, Kevin, I disagree. They're explicitly calling her fat.
Am I the asshole for even offering something like this? I thought it was a generous way to lead my friend into better overall health and did not realize it could be offensive to pay someone to work out. This ain't your fucking job.
I think, is this a CrossFit person? This sounds like a CrossFit
This sounds
person.
like a CrossFit person. This is like...
You sound like a CrossFit person. To the question,
You can cross fuck off.
is it
Sorry,
inherent?
someone put that in
Is it inherently asshole-ish? Maybe not. Is your specific situation asshole-ish? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, top comment says, this is a weird condition to impose on your friend. If you're genuinely worried about her mental health, then be direct about offering her financial help to that end. But this comes across as, you need some money? Dance for me, monkey. You're setting,
Yeah, it does. Yeah.
You're setting unnecessary strings to financial aid. Now, all of this being said, you have helped her out before and she hasn't paid you back, so you are under no obligation to do so. Again, just stop being weird. But there's an update, and an update in
spoiler tag.
tags.
I like that. They spoiler tagged the update, so you're not spoiled before. It's like they almost did that for a podcast reading it.
I appreciate you for that one, OP. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Anyway, update, spoiler. I really appreciate everyone who took the time to provide input into this thread. I've read a lot of varying opinions on the topic and was able to see things clearer from her and my perspective. The takeaway I got from this is that there are a lot of people out there who would appreciate the offer as well as others who would have had their feelings hurt, and the sad reality confirmed to me that this is my friends and my views on the issue, as well as many other things between us, are significantly incompatible. I don't see this person being in my life much longer. Wow, okay.
Ooh. Oh, wow. That almost... Wow, you did a great job of sounding like you were apologizing and then leaning into that and like, psych, actually.
Psych, actually, they're not going to be in my life much longer. It's their problem now.
Psych, I'm actually a dick.
God! Wow!
Anyway, paragraph number 2.
What a plot twist. To all the people who accused me of being controlling, manipulative, abusive, or went through my post history to make a moral judgment about me as a person, you're free to think as you wish. However, until you live from my experience, dating a person with BPD, I'm going to trust my own opinion over yours on the topic. Control isn't inherently bad, it's how it's used. However...
And you're using it poorly.
Yeah, you're using it wrong, dumbass. However, you're absolutely right that this person and I should not be in contact. That responsibility is mine to handle, and I will. Oh my god, the bad ending.
Kind of. At least they're removing themselves for the situation, but I don't like their attitude about it.
Oh, dude, they have a rancid goddamn attitude here.
It's one of those people who just expects who expects their lifestyle to be, the prime lifestyle.
Yeah.
And that, they're doing everyone else a favor by forcing their better lifestyle on other people.
Yeah.
So CrossFit people.
Yeah.
Yeah. So CrossFit people.
Yeah, you can absolutely tell this is somebody who cherry-picked the comments that best aligned with their viewpoint, rather than actually trying to find a
I will say
problem.
though, and I want to thank them again for spoiler tagging this because it genuinely was a plot twist. This is one of the rare cases because usually we either get one of two responses to these updates. We usually have people who are like, okay, I was the asshole, I admit it, I'm sorry, I'm gonna work to make things right. Or you have the people that are just like, fuck you, you're wrong, I'm not the asshole, you guys don't know what you're talking about. This guy took the road least traveled and went, okay, yeah, I'm an asshole, so what?
So what? I'm gonna own it. They're not in my life anymore. They're gone. Bye-bye. I don't need you. I'm gonna stay fit over here. I don't need them.
Yeah. All I need are these gains.
I just need these gains, boy. You don't understand what
So-
it's like.
So official podcast judgment, yes, you're an asshole, but you were entertaining, and I have to give you props for that much.
You are one of the more unique assholes we've seen here, so you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna say good for you, but you
Yeah.
made for a fun post.
What I am gonna say is that if you love jogging so much, you could do it over there, away from us. Like, just keep running as far away as possible from other people.
Yeah. Maybe off that cliff over there.
That was fun. Anyway, Saradin, can you read? Or, sorry, I guess the better question is, will you read?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me just find one here.
All right.
Do. How did you fall so down on my DM list? Here we go.
Hold on, let me scroll.
Yeah, he fell down to like, he used to be like position 3 on my DM list, and he fell down to like
Today
position 8. Go on.
Today I fucked up by cosplaying a female-looking character as a guy at an anime convention.
Let's go.
At least he labeled this as a small Tifu, so
Okay,
we're
yeah.
probably
Yeah.
going to get a small Tifu.
Mhm.
Obligatory happened more than 3 years ago. Also, if my English is bad, I apologize. Not a native speaker.
Okay, we're
So-
gonna get like immaculate English. Awesome.
British alert! I'm just kidding.
Wait.
So, a few years ago, believe it or not, as a straight guy, I had a brilliant idea to cosplay a character who is, while technically male, dresses in a skirt, Chihiro Fujisaki.
Oh
Oh yeah, Danganronpa
Can somebody
fans in the
contextualize
house.
Oh, it's a Danganronpa one. Of course
Yeah.
you found this one. It was actually quite fun to have people mistaken me for a girl. Okay, yep. And I had a lot of good interactions with other people at the convention. However, it was all fun and games until I saw a familiar person at the convention. Believe it or not, it was my classmate with her friend, and not just any classmate. She was
What?
the winter
Oh.
school. She did mention going, what?
Oh, you cut out
You
there
cut
for a
out.
second.
Oh, my bad. Believe it or not, it's my classmate with her friend, and not just any classmate. She was the one I actually liked and had a slight crush on.
Oh no.
We often hanged out after school at the time. She did mention going to anime conventions before, but I was surprised to see her there, as it was a relatively niche event. Toguchi Festival, I guess it's Russian or
Yeah.
Ukrainian. Of course, I was in a wig and not very recognizable, but that immediately triggered my anxiety. Keep in mind, the place is small, no place to hide, basically. To make matters worse, my country is generally transphobic. Russia. So it could be Ukraine too. I'm not sure.
what a brave guy to cosplay Chihiro Fujisaki in Russia.
Your anime brothers over the seas acknowledge you, comrade. So I was afraid of making the wrong impression, even though I'm not trans. So I left the floor, hoping she wouldn't notice. And then I got a text on my phone. Is that you in a skirt? I was mortified. I had to confess that yes, indeed, it was me. She was pretty chill about it in the end, but deep down, I think this only solidified the impression that I'm some kind of a weirdo. We never talked about this again, except that one time when she asked, "Are you sure you're not trans?" TLDR, cosplayed as a female-looking character at an anime convention, ended up being seen by my crush and her friend as a weirdo. Yeah, small Tifu.
Yeah,
Come smooth that
small.
over.
Yeah,
Say,
yeah.
I like the character. I felt
I
like
like
being
the-
adventurous at a place where I could be
Yeah,
adventurous.
I like top comment. I'd say the fuck up was not explaining why your cosplay at an anime convention required you to wear a skirt. Like, yeah, You see, I was cosplaying. The character is a guy, but everyone bullied him because he was weak and then he put on a skirt. Everyone immediately stopped bullying him. 100% a dude, just a commentary on Japanese social issues. Oh, that makes sense. Done! That's the context in a paragraph. She gives you shit afterwards, that's on her.
Yeah, that's literally it, yeah.
Yeah. Of course, you'd be spoiling chapter 2 of Danganronpa 1, but, you know.
Yeah.
Finally, we got a fucking anime question in the Reddit dive.
Rare.
Oh my god, yeah. It's
We've
rare.
been more of an anime podcast than usual today, and we spent half an hour talking about swatting.
Look, it's nerd adjacent. It's in the culture.
Yeah, swatting, big part of our culture. Okay, my turn. Let's see here. Now this one. God damn it, I picked another long one. Not that long, but long. It's a long Tifu. Or, large Tifu. Well, also a long Tifu. It's a long and large Tifu. It's the fucking $5 foot long of Tifus. They're not $5 anymore. I don't know why I said that. Today, I fucked up tripping while holding books and turning a medieval cult against me.
Huh?
Today I fucked up tripping while holding books and turning a medieval cult against me. Obligatory didn't happen today, still gets under my skin. About 10 years ago, I was a senior in college and had a mandatory class on medieval literature. It was part of my major and I had to take it to graduate. King Arthur, Tales of Whatever. It just so happened that the professor of this class was very well known and there was a body of students who attended my college to study with her. I had heard positive things, so I went into the class thinking it would be fun. Turns out these people are in a cult. Everyone seemed to have a background on lineages and English history except for me. So much context I couldn't get a grasp on. These books are thick and Old English and frankly boring. Other students and professor practically role-playing the class. I was doing well enough, participating every class and reading the nonsense, but then we had a group project. We had to each select a theme from the same book and present the themes in group presentations. This required checking out several books from the library to show historical backgrounds on our themes. I'll refer to my partners as Girl A and Girl B. We met briefly after class to talk game plan, our general themes we'd cover, and what next. Girl A decided we should meet next week before our due date in a very specific room of the library because that's where she studies the most. There were 2 libraries on campus. They would get the books from the library they like, and I would check out a list of books in the library I'm familiar with, and then we'd go over the sources together. The day came, and I was in a massive rush. I finished rowing practice in the morning. Are you a kayaker? Went to the books and realized that they were massive hardcover books. I had to stack them and carry. They wouldn't fit in my backpack. I had a class to get to. I got a text from the group project chat as I was rushing to class. They wanted the books I had ASAP because the ones they found were not helpful. And here's where I fucked up. I went to answer the text that I have the books and tripped down a set of stairs. I didn't catch myself and landed on my ankle. It was so embarrassing. Everyone saw I fell while looking at my phone. No one helped. This is a great place. I tried to get up, but I couldn't. I was hunched over in a walkway with people walking around me, my books everywhere, and I couldn't support my right ankle. Luckily, I was very close to my campus's urgent care. I managed to limp there with the books and was very out of sorts. I missed my class and waited for help. They told me my ankle was at least sprained and I had to go to a local hospital. At this point, I messaged the group. Yes, I have the books. I tripped while carrying them. I have to go to the hospital. I'll do my best to be at the meeting room later that day. They were somehow pissed at me, especially Girl A. She wanted me to get the books to one of them sooner so they could work on the project before we met up, as they were both done with their classes and twiddling their fingers in anticipation of English literary history barf. I couldn't do it. No one would come to get me. Great. Keep in mind, we're still a week away from this due date. I managed to find a ride to the hospital from a team member. I was really thankful. She really helped me out and walked with me while I was seen. She reassured me the project will be fine, just get taken care of. The hospital did an x-ray, wrapped it, added this blue and white soul thing for support, and gave me crutches, and said don't walk on it for a few weeks. I finally got back to my place. It's past the meeting time. The meeting time was at 5 p.m. It's now 7. The group chat is pissed at me. I say I just got back from the hospital. I'm on crutches. It's hard to get to them. They say, you agreed to this, so get here. And I'm like, shit, fine. I fit the books into a backpack and make my way there. A random school bus stopped for me and opened the door to offer a ride, but I was heading into campus where cars can't drive. I looked really pathetic and had not adjusted the crutches enough to fit my height. After a serious slog, I get to the library, the one furthest from me. These assholes picked a room at the top floor, stair access only. I finally make it, and I'm out of breath. I crutch into the room. They were scowling at me in silence as like I interrupted a conversation with my heavy breathing. I empty the books on the table. They flip through them, don't talk to me. I felt so out of place and couldn't focus. I got the feeling that they had sat there doing nothing but waiting for me and talked shit about I'm either lazy or a liar. Girl A said she couldn't stay anymore, took a few of the books and left abruptly. Girl B immediately got awkward and said she had to go too, took the rest of the books, leaving me there to wait until I was ready for the stairs and the slog back home. So the weekend goes by, and I managed to... Hold on. Okay, the weekend goes by and I managed to meet up with Girl B to get back to the book I needed the most. Important to note, I picked out this book specifically for my slides, and Girl A took this book when we met up. I have my slides done that night, and I sent them in to Girl A to combine them. Didn't see their slides, fuck up number 2, and we present the following class day. The classroom is also upstairs. I arrived in the door late, obviously struggling. The professor doesn't even check with me, like she didn't even notice I'm on crutches. I immediately get the feeling as girls A and B complained about my part of the project, they were sitting closest to her, like a big circle room, like... It's a big circle room like King Arthur shits. Oh, I get it. Another group goes first, we go to present. As we present, my slides are the last ones. As I'm watching my group, the girl before me, Girl A, is using my research on her slides, and I was in shock. What the hell is happening? Her entire theme was no longer what we agreed to. It was mine, about pregnancy. It was very specific. I had referenced certain scenes of the book. She used the same scenes. I referenced specific chapters of the research book I found. She used the same exact sources. It was my turn, and I gave her a look, and she didn't meet my eyes. My slides mimic hers. I present them just as I planned. It's obvious what this looks like. Everyone is eye-rolling. No one cut me off, and then we're done. I don't remember our grade. I do remember the professor sending me an email that she expected better of me. The other girls, they outwardly scowled at me and clearly spread rumors. No one in the class said a word to me after this presentation. Girl B was the only one I was remotely friends with, sharing from other classes together, and she stopped texting me back and blocked me on social media. I got a C in that class. Fuck those bitches. Fuck medieval literature.
Fuck them bitches.
I graduated weeks later and was out of the crutches just in time to walk and never look back. Brianna, fuck you the most. I thought we were friends, you heartless backstabber. Ever since, every single time I walk downstairs, I wash my feet. Well, OP, if it makes you feel any better, there's someone out there named Mr. Tomlinson who has it worse than you.
You and Mr. Tomlinson should exchange notes.
Oh boy. By the way, speaking of a bomb squad, Kevin, read this one.
Oh, fuck. Today I fucked up by having bomb squad show up at work. Large Tifu, and this is a long boy.
Just a story time podcast now.
I guess so. Obligatory, this happened 5+ years ago, but I remembered it today. I used to work at a concierge nice use of concierge.
I mean, it might be, if it's called the concierge,
yeah.
It might be the only use of it.
I used to work as a concierge for a residential building in a large city in Canada. One day I was tasked with training a new hire, whom we shall call M. As I was walking, God, what the fuck? As I was one of the most experienced concierge, training rookies was automatically assigned to me. The work was mundane and didn't require much talent. M was pretty bright, so she caught on fast. At one point, I felt comfortable leaving her at the desk for a moment while I went to warm up my lunch. It was midday and nothing much was happening, so I thought she'd be all right. However, hold on. What up? However, halfway through warming up my lunch, M comes running into the break room, coughing and rubbing her eyes. She isn't speaking and can't communicate, having taken first aid. Instincts immediately kicked in, and I rushed to help her. I got her to an eye wash station and got her to wash off what had gotten on her. She was still coughing, but managed to just repeat it was a white powder over and over. She was able to catch her breath for a moment and was able to tell me that she tried to register a package we had received earlier for a resident, but when she put it down on the desk, a bit of white powder from the box got on her face. I got on the phone and called 911 asking for an ambulance. The dispatcher was very good and got help rolling, but she told me to hold on the line for a moment. She then got back on the line and told me to repeat everything I had told her, which I did. In the process of doing so, I was interrupted by 2 other persons on the phone, now asking other questions. I found this a bit confusing and immediately got an uneasy feeling, as they mainly wanted to know about M, who she was and what she was doing, and more specifically, about the white powder. I think y'all know where this is going. Not wanting to leave M on her own as she was still coughing, I simply told the people on the phone I didn't know where the package/powder came from or who it was going to, as I wasn't at the desk. At that moment, I was told to not move, nor let M move from where we were, and stay put. Not let anyone in or out, give directions to the dispatcher for the responders to be able to get in and find us. They hung up. Thinking this was a bit out of the ordinary, I called my supervisor and the manager to let them know what happened, and at the very least, an ambulance was on its way. Not 5 minutes later, I am called again by the dispatcher telling me that the fire department was on site but couldn't get in. They told me to just leave the room momentarily, meet the firefighters, and take them to M. I didn't think much of it since fire department also does medical calls in the city, but when I get to the entrance, I find 5 quote-unquote firefighters in bright green hazmat suits waiting at the door. As soon as I let them in to go straight to the desk to find the package, the others asked me to lead them to M. Once we get to her, one makes me give him my phone, keys, wallet, work radio, and shoes. That really confused me. After I did, he took me to a different area in the building and told me we would be isolated from everyone. The other 2 stayed with M. At this point, I'm starting to freak out, not so much over the chance that I might be contaminated with something like anthrax, but mostly because now this isn't going to end well and I have no idea if they have to shut the building down. Spit went down the wrong pipe. I then see M being taken out by the firefighters to a stretcher waiting outside. The firefighter that is with me tells me to go with him outside as well. When we exit, I now see it wasn't 1 fire truck and an ambulance there, but 5 fire trucks and 2 ambulances and more cop cars than I can count. There is a mobile command station being set up and the entire block is being cordoned off. At this point, the severity of the situation is sinking in and I'm realizing this escalated really fast. Since I wasn't having a reaction like M, I was told to sit outside the building doors and just wait. Everything seemed uneasy and things around were chaotic. I can hear a police officer's radio transmissions and make out that CBRNE is on its way. I asked the firefighter what that meant, and very calmly he says, chemical, biological, radioactive, nuclear explosives. Bomb squad. They'll be here soon. My heart sank. Now I'm really starting to worry I may have been exposed to anthrax. About 15 excruciating minutes later, really, 3 blacked out SUVs come racing down the street. When they get there, a bunch of military-style men get out of the car. Some go to the command station, others set up a perimeter, and 2 start getting equipment ready. One of the 2 pulls out a hazmat suit, and then they both walk to the doors where I was. When they get there, they break things down almost like in a movie. One says to the other, alright, it's just another call. Get in, find the package, identify, and we go home. A couple of pats on the back, radio checks, and the suited-up man goes inside. My heart is racing. I can feel my head pounding, and fear is fully taking over me. The officer that had gone in comes out after a few minutes that felt like hours and simply yells out, "It's kitty litter!"
Oh my god.
Immediately there is a sense of calm all around and people start laughing. It's at this point I realized there were going to be people out of their balconies seeing it all go down. In the other buildings as well, and they're all saying the same thing to each other, passing the message along. It's just kitty litter. Within minutes, the large majority of emergency vehicles have left. Anyone still there is laughing and joking about it, and the whole building knows that bomb squad showed up for kitty litter. I asked about M and was told that she had an allergic reaction and was okay, but going to the hospital just in case. I got my belongings back, the shoes too, and found over 80 missed calls from my supervisor, management, and colleagues. Management was pissed because they felt ridiculed to have all that fuss over kitty litter, and despite me explaining I had been quarantined and how I had called beforehand advising them, I was let go at the end of the shift for failing to communicate during the emergency. That fucking sucks. And that's the day M found out she is allergic to kitty litter. TLDR, a colleague I was training had an allergic reaction to kitty litter. I called 911 for an ambulance and was fired because the bomb squad showed up.
I feel like that's an unjust firing, but I don't know Canadian labor laws.
Honestly, this isn't a fuck up. This is just a wild misunderstanding.
Yeah, I like top comment. This is not a fuck up at all. You made the right call with the information you had at the time. Imagine if it had been something dangerous and you hadn't responded appropriately. That would have been a fuck up. Your management sucked and are the ones who fucked up. You should be glad you reacted appropriately rather than trying to punish you for it. Shit like this is how you get employees who are scared to notify the proper authorities when things go wrong.
Yeah, this is one of the interesting things to note here is that this is one of those weird situations where it probably felt like a fuck up to OP, but it really wasn't his fault. It really is just awful management and just a really bad coincidence and misunderstanding on part of the bomb squad.
Yeah. You know what else is a coincidence?
What?
This next post I'm going to have Sarah read.
Ah, okay.
I sent it. Sarah.
I'm living.
Okay.
I sent you one.
I got 3 hours of sleep last night. Sorry, I was fading during that last one.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
He lives.
Also, we had too much of an energetic. We had too much energy going into like the first part of this.
Yeah.
Anyway, but today I fucked up by calling the cops on my own surprise party. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Why would you do that? All right, medium Tifu, so he claims.
Yes.
Posted by Thomas Clone TH1139.
Wait,
All right.
what happened to the original Thomas?
He might still be around. A clone doesn't mean you have to kill the original, unless this is Halo.
Well, I'm saying, what if you replaced him? What if the original's in a closet or something? You gotta think about these things. They're coming for us.
I don't have to think about any of that, actually.
We're coming for us.
Okay. All right. So listen up, guys. Biggest bra moment of my life, just happened. Like, the kind of big where, you want to crawl in a hole and, hide forever. I added a lot of those likes.
Yeah, he's
yeah. I just got off my shift. Tired as heck.
My shifts. Is that with
my
two
shift.
C's?
No,
Okay.
it should be because shift is spelled S-H-I-F. Just got
He's
off
so
my
tired
shift.
he can't
Tired as
pee.
heck. Just want to come home, shower, and crash. But as I pull up to my house, I see something real strange. Lights are on all over the place, and shadows moving around inside. Now, I live alone, completely solo. No roommates, nothing. So seeing this kind of freaked me out. My mind went to the worst places. Burglars, squatters, maybe even something worse. Heart thumping like a drum solo, I grabbed my phone and dialed 911. Realized I was in Europe and forgot to dial 119. Oh, I'm just kidding. Told the dispatcher there were intruders in my house. They said they'd send a car right away. While I wait outside, anxiety gnawing at me, a familiar car pulls up. It's Sarah, my best friend. Relief washes over me, but it's short-lived. 2 police officers emerge from the car behind her, guns drawn and faces grim.
Oh no.
Find out what happens next time on the Bakagaijinshow.
No!
The next Suzuka, motherfucker. The next few minutes are a blur. Explanations, justifications, all falling on deaf ears. Turns out those silhouettes were my friends, throwing me a surprise party. But here's the kicker. They borrowed my spare key without telling me.
Oh.
The cops, understandably, weren't thrilled. Borrowing a key without permission is, illegal.
Yeah.
My friend ended up in handcuffs. The party was over before it even began. The aftermath, a disaster. My trust in my friends is shattered. The thought of them rummaging through my belongings makes my skin crawl. And it gets worse. To feel safe again, I have to shell out thousands for new security doors and an alarm system. My friends, released but facing charges, are furious. They somehow think I'm the bad guy for calling the police, for not playing along with their little scheme.
Come on, man. It's just a joke,
So, yeah.
bro. It's just a joke, bro.
So yeah, this surprise party turned into a nightmare. Lost trust, financial strain, and strained friendships all around. All because my friends decided to break the law in the name of a good time. TLDR, my friends threw a surprise party by illegally entering my house. Cops got involved, friendship shattered, and everyone lost. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
You guys enjoy how
Top
I read
comment.
that.
When surprising someone in their own home, it
Top
seems
comment is
typical.
sort by best, excuse me.
Yeah, seems
And
typical for there
then
to be.
must add a comment. Anyway, go ahead.
Seems typical for there to be a person in the know with the surprisee to facilitate getting them to the surprise, or at least some kind of plan regarding the entrance of the person being surprised, not just breaking and entering with the lights on, hanging out in someone's house without their knowledge, consent, or consideration if someone would like a surprise party. This was set up terribly, and the terrible consequences are unfortunate all around.
Yeah, this is just awful fucking planning, dude.
Yeah, usually when you do a surprise party, it's like it's the wife or the SO or the girlfriend or the landlord even that's in on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
people who have legal access to that home are usually the one that let everyone else in, a trusted
Mhm.
person.
Yeah.
Don't break into your friend's house and then try to say it's a party. Police aren't gonna buy that one. We start
Yeah.
letting that one slide, and suddenly anytime somebody wants to break and enter, they're gonna be like, well, I was just throwing him a party, man.
Yeah.
Why is the TV missing? Well, I bought him a new one.
Well, this is yeah. What's in the sack? Well, they're gifts. They're for me. He doesn't know if he's given them to me yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was actually my birthday all along. So
I'm surprised he only considers this one a medium Tifu. But I guess it was his fuck up that was the medium. The whole
Yeah.
situation's a large Tifu.
yeah,
Like, relationships are permanently damaged and thousands of dollars were lost. That's a large Tifu in my book.
Yeah.
Somewhere else to someone else's Tifu was like, today I fucked up by holding a surprise party in my friend's house.
I would love if that was a Reddit post.
and that
Oh my
one is a
God.
large one.
Yeah.
From the guy who got arrested, that one's large. But I understand.
Well, that was fun. Don't break into people's houses, especially in America. We have stand your ground laws. Don't get shot.
Yeah.
That's also true.
Yeah.
It's time for the lightning round.
Oh no.
Yo, this is where we go to our unpopular opinion. Get some of them unpopular opinions. They might be popular. They might not be. We might agree. We might isn't. Let's find out. Unpopular opinion. Cheez-Its are one of the worst snacks. No, they're good.
No, I like Cheez-Its. I like Cheez-Its.
I like Cheez-Its.
Cheez-Its are perfectly fine. Also, they were invented in my hometown, so go fuck yourself.
Yeah. Oh, wait, they
Interesting.
were? Damn.
Interesting.
I'm learning something new today. Nice.
Cheez-Its originated in Dayton, Ohio.
A lot of good shit originates in Dayton, come to think of it.
Yeah, a lot of
Unpopular-
things that don't get credit for it.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinions. Splitting their married people splitting their finances is foolish and asking for trouble. Could be. Could not be.
Yeah.
Why don't you do what you feel is right for you and your partner?
Yeah, but again,
No, I get where he's coming from because it's I don't think it's the splitting of the finances. I think it's the implication that there's an issue with trust
yeah, but like again,
with the marriage.
as
If you don't trust your money with your wife, then what else don't you trust her with?
yeah,
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like again, the ideal setup for like quote unquote sharing finances is you each have an individual account for personal material, and then you have a shared joint account.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just think people in a relationship should do whatever both parties are comfortable with.
Yeah.
I
no,
think
I agree.
there's really no blanket advice anyone could give.
Yeah. Sometimes that kind of like joint situation works for some people. Other times it doesn't. It's depends
Next
on
one, whatever.
Unpopular, yeah, lightning run, Kevin. Shut up. Like, unpopular opinion: work relationships should not be frowned upon. You have a crush on a coworker, don't you?
You have a crush on a
crush
coworker,
on a coworker, don't you, Squidward?
I
And-
understand why it is, but I also agree it should not.
Yeah.
Yeah. Might
yeah,
cause
like
issues, yeah.
relationships that could cause issues can crop up anywhere.
Yeah.
You know. Unpopular opinion: Girl Scout cookies have gone down in quality and are no longer worth buying or eating. Have you
I haven't
considered
had a
that?
girl.
Have you considered that everything has gone down in quality and are no longer worth buying or eating?
I actually disagree. Most food quality has increased over time. The only exceptions being things like Girl Scout cookies being snack foods.
I think it
Yeah.
depends on where your starting point is. If your starting point is it no longer gives us cholera, you're correct.
No, I mean if you look at market trends for food sales, the quality, people value quality of what they're purchasing, like more than they ever had before. Like back in the 1970s, like everybody could fucking buy, like they'd go to a restaurant, pay $13 for a hamburger, and it'd be a frozen fucking patty. Nowadays, if it's not fresh, people are like, why am I paying more than $4 for this? I can go to McDonald's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so the overall expectation of quality food has gone up in every sector except for snack food. I haven't had a Girl Scout cookie in like 4 years, so I don't know, but I'd be
Yeah, I'd
willing
have
to
to
bet
try
he's
them.
right.
Yeah.
But
I'd have
honestly,
to try them, but unfortunately, I can't get my
they've
hands on Girl
definitely
Scout
gone
cookies.
up in cost, and maybe that's what's tilted. They've definitely gone up in cost, but I don't
Possibly.
think their recipes changed.
It's hard to compare because I don't have a fresh Girl Scout cookie from 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Those are hard to find. In fact, some might even say impossible.
Yeah.
You know what's really sad? I mean, just go to Walmart. They're always selling them out front of Walmart.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Okay, no, you missed the joke. I can get one now. I can't get one from 10 years ago now, is what I'm saying.
Oh yeah, sure. You know,
Yeah, I can't
something
compare.
interesting I found. Boy Scout popcorn has rebranded themselves.
Oh, really?
There's very little. It's much more plain packaging, which saves on cost.
Yeah.
And it's a different brand name now. They've changed their brand name. It used to be Trails End, and it used to have a bunch of Boy Scout iconography all over the packaging, and almost all of that iconography or any mention of Scouts has been removed from it. And I think that has a lot to do with the fact that for a couple of years I was hearing that people weren't buying Boy Scout popcorn because of those atrocious greedy lawsuit campaigns that were being sent around about if you were in the Boy Scouts of America and you were sexually harassed or assaulted, like gave people the impression that the Boy Scouts was simply a grooming society, and so nobody wanted to be associated with anything Boy Scouts for a while.
Yeah.
So I think the popcorn probably changed their name so that people could buy them and not have to say, oh, I got it from a Boy Scout. They could just say, oh, I just picked it up. Somebody was selling it. And nobody could scrutinize it.
Yeah.
Which I think is tragic. Like the fact that the Boy Scouts is becoming known as a groomer society, despite the fact that as a youth organization, it has done more to revolution. It has done far more than church youth groups. Let me put it that way, or any other youth society.
I'll agree there.
For creating systems that safeguard children than any other youth organization on earth. But they still have this wretched opinion just because their name is big and because they're mildly religiously associated.
I mean, I didn't have a good experience, but that's just me. I think in general it's I think right now society has a very complicated. We have a complicated untangling of how to interact with children, I guess. Because we can't just not have community, but also having community opens the door for exploitation. I mean, it goes back to the fundamental problem of having connections with other people, I guess. But you add this extra layer of
the fact that children are highly impressionable and physically weaker than adults.
Yeah, I think I don't know exactly what the solution is, but I know that I don't think the solution is just this increasing absence of community we have now. I don't think that's the way.
No,
but anyway, that's
we
the
need
topic.
to be more. If anything, if anything, I think we need to have more investment in community to ensure it's being done properly.
Yeah.
As opposed to apathy, which people are still going to have these communities, and if you're apathetic towards them, that's only going to, when your eye turns away and no one's watching them, that's when problems occur.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think it's weird, and there's things people just need to get over. Both in regards, like I think we need this community, but we can't have it if we're gonna be this weird about it, you know? And like
Yeah.
shit's gonna happen sometimes, but I think it'll hopefully happen less the more we invest and pay attention to it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, hopefully.
We can't just
But-
and I don't want us to throw these things out
Sure.
entirely.
Yeah.
Um,
But anyway,
But yeah.
round. Yeah, we don't talk about big topics in lightning round. Anyway, unpopular opinion: meritocracy is an illusion.
Good God. We don't talk about big topics. Anyway, how about that meritocracy?
I think I just real quick. I just think yes, hard work pays off is a myth, but it also like it's not like it doesn't hurt. It doesn't. Well, I mean, I guess it can, but like it helps.
Yeah.
I guess.
well, I mean, so the idea that if you work hard, that automatically means you're going to be a millionaire is totally a myth.
Yeah.
But like, if you're willing to work towards something, you can improve any situation. You can improve any situation. You do have some control over over a lot of situations, and taking an apathetic approach or not pursuing a better outcome through your own effort is going to guarantee that you never get lucky and that you never capitalize on opportunities that come your way.
I think it's just I think it's complicated and nuanced because like
Yeah.
because I tend to be on the side that meritocracy is an illusion, it's a myth, and also kind of ableist, but I think it's a to each his means sort of situation,
I don't think it's well. So I don't think it's totally a myth, and I also don't think it's totally ableist. I think it's about finding the right kind of the right kinds of things that you can excel at, which is kind of a lifelong goal in it of itself.
But I also
Yeah.
don't like that all pressure of that is put on the individual, because it should be society's job to reward such efforts. And if society isn't rewarding reasonable effort, then that's not the individual's fault,
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I also think that, like I said, from a personal standpoint, if you don't put effort towards something, or if you aren't skilled at anything, or if you don't pursue, you have to basically, like, what I'm saying is, yes, it's the responsibility of society to reward such work, but if you never do the work in the first place, you guarantee that you will never be rewarded. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah.
So
sure.
like, just because you worked hard does not mean it's good. Like, that is something I firmly believe in.
I feel like for basically any of these would be like unpopular opinion, complicated issue. Yeah, it's complicated. There's nuance. Talk to each other.
Yeah.
We
Yeah.
solved it. There we go.
All right, move on.
Anyway, unpopular opinion, concerts start too late.
Okay, Grandpa.
I don't want to be
We'll make sure the Aerosmith reunion tour starts at a nice 2 p.m. so you can get your nap in by 5.
Why do concerts start so late in the evening? Usually it's after 10 by the time the headliner comes on. Then by the time you get out of the venue and leaving the parking lot and drive home, it's well after midnight. I'd love it if a concert could start at like noon or 1 and you could be home by 6 or 7.
I'm just gonna put the Club Penguin 18 and older meme on the screen here.
Oh my god.
Unpopular opinion, dying arts should be allowed to die. Well, only if we want them to.
Sure.
I feel like if there's anyone who doesn't want them to die, then they have every right to preserve that.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, superheroes should be allowed to die and stay dead.
Okay, that's a different thing, but
But yeah, no, I agree. It's
Yeah.
fine to move. It's fine to move on.
Yeah.
In fact, in a wave of culture that seems to not want to let go of anything, I encourage it. Make a change in life. Try
Well, I think
something new.
Sure, but that's not really what it's. I think you're projecting something else onto this.
Sure. What
you
is
know.
it? What? So.
Well,
yeah.
when I think about dying arts, I think about we don't know how to weave baskets anymore, and I'm like, well, if someone wants to preserve the art of
Some people
basket
do.
weaving,
Yeah,
That's
some
what
people
I'm,
do.
that's what I'm saying though. It's like this guy's saying they should be allowed to die. I'm like, well, if people care about it enough to preserve it, then no. Even if it's a small number,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. We don't have blacksmiths on every corner anymore, but there are still plenty of people making swords, my dude. Like,
Yeah.
let that shit survive.
Yeah. That's more what I
There's
think
no
he's
reason
talking
to.
about.
There's no reason to. Yeah, no, I agree. There's no reason in that case to abandon something if somebody enjoys
Weave
it.
your baskets underwater, if you please.
Yeah, with a taser.
Ooh.
Ooh, hard mode.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion: fries don't need condiments.
If they're made correctly.
They're good.
Yeah. Yeah. Sure.
Well, even more unpopular opinion: people who make bad fries should be executed. Looking at you, In and Out. Anyway,
Oh, okay.
That's a
I thought
hot
he was,
fucking opinion.
I thought he was insulting my fry making ability for a second.
no.
Unpopular. Jesus Christ! Only the heavy topics today. You are not owed anyone else's patience, understanding, or rationality.
I mean-
Maybe, but I don't like the I don't like people who say that.
Yeah, because it's oftentimes used to justify a dismissive and oftentimes very fundamentally negative viewpoint, and it just leads to people being very dismissive of others and oftentimes being kind of abusive towards others. And I don't really like that kind of, like, theoretically, yes. In practice,
It is true. It is true. The world doesn't owe you shit, and no one else does either. That being said,
But we
if-
made the world a better place by acting like we do.
Yeah,
So
100%. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the thing. Is like no one owes you shit, and sometimes you'll do everything for someone, and they won't give you shit for it.
yeah, I get to
Right.
shit in a toilet and not a hole because some people thought that they owed each other things, and that's fine by me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I do agree that I don't have to like you for taking that opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Like that's my thing. It's like the world doesn't owe me shit. Cool. Then I don't owe you anything either. Fuck you.
I'm gonna go over here and help people and be a nice fucking human being. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. Let's see here. Unpopular opinion: McDonald's poutine is absolute perfection. We
I
don't
don't
have
live in
that
Ca-
here.
We don't have that. Canadian alert.
Canadian alert.
British adjacent alert.
Canadian, eh?
Unpopular opinion: tuna sandwiches should be sweet.
What?
What kind of sweet?
Yeah. Like what are you adding to it to make it sweet? Like
To what
what's the-
fucking degree?
Yeah.
Okay, he says not a ton of additional explanation needed. Oh, okay, sure. Savory flavors with tuna are rather disagreeable, but a tuna sandwich with raspberry jam, so good. Any fruity or berry flavor is next level. No other ingredient needed. Bread,
Okay.
fruit spread, tuna, bread. Unbeatable.
Okay, here's my thing.
Harm
Yes,
yourself.
Here's my thing. Yes, you are working under the usual like thought process of sweet and savory, like, contrasting. The problem is tuna is a fish, which means that it also has a very briny taste to it, which adds
Yeah.
an umami element, which actually conflicts worse with both of those other flavors.
Yeah, like people put jam on burgers and stuff.
Yeah.
With tuna.
Yeah, it's just there's an extra like brininess to it that just, in my opinion, just does not work.
Yeah. It's like it's like taking raspberry jam and putting a bunch of salt on it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's a really good comparison point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Unpopular opinion: Mario and Luigi Partners in Time is the best game in the Mario and Luigi RPG series.
Wow, you're right. That is an unpopular opinion. Yeah, people normally either say the original or Bowser's Inside Story. Nobody says Partners in Time. Now, nobody says Partners in Time is bad, but they're not saying it's the best.
I think I remember the Ant Dude series where he said Partners in Time is underrated, though.
It is very underrated. A lot of people will agree with that, I think.
Yeah.
I think the point is it kind of just gets forgotten comparative to the other games in the series because That was released on the DS, and so was Bowser's Inside Story. And Bowser's Inside Story just happens to be the most iconic Mario and Luigi on that system. Same thing with like Superstar Saga. That was the only one on Game Boy Advance. So I think it kind of gets lost in the shuffle, especially considering that Bowser's Inside Story just expands on so many of the ideas and concepts that Partners in Time introduced.
Yeah. Unpopular opinion, wisdom does not come with age. Not inherently, no.
No, it comes with experience.
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. I mean,
and the ability to cultivated by the ability to self-reflect.
Yeah.
And
Ideally.
think critically. Yes.
Ideally, yeah.
I don't understand why ideally.
Because some people don't have the ability to critically self-reflect.
Yeah.
No
Well,
matter how old
but that's
they
what
get.
I'm saying. Wisdom is a thing that evolves from those features. If you don't do any of these, it takes.
So I think a
life
better way to say
experience.
that. I think the better way to say that would be wisdom comes from self-reflection, not with age. Then.
Yeah. Yeah.
You need experiences to teach you as well.
Yeah, but I feel like the self-reflection part is more important because you can have all the age in the world, but if you don't reflect, then you don't learn anything.
Yeah.
I realize that might be partially semantic, but he started it.
Thanks, OP.
Okay, whatever.
Unpopular opinion. There's too much damn singing in modern mainstream animation. Fucking Disney with their songs.
Yeah, I will say now it's less common than it used to be. Like not every and like back in the 90s, almost every single fucking animated movie that came out of America was a damn musical. It's less common now. I feel like there are more just like straightforward adventure and road trip movies, but musicals.
Yeah, I actually feel
still
like I guess so. I feel like singing has been on the downturn.
Yeah. No, honestly, I feel like musicals being
I
the
feel like-
dominant format of Western animation kind of stopped around the time of Shrek 2.
Did this person happen to write this post like immediately after Vivo and Encanto came out? Because I gotta tell you, that was several years ago. You're a little late to the Reddit game.
That's a good point. Yeah. Also, the movies that people are watching typically aren't musicals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unpopular opinion, the horn is for safety reasons, and people need to stop treating it like a fuck you button.
Yeah.
I guess so.
Although
I agree.
Although it is really fun to just beep at somebody because they're being an asshole.
Remind me to never let Kevin
How
drive.
often do you do that, Kevin?
Never,
You
because
know,
I don't
beeping when-
drive.
Yeah. Yeah, you have a great base of knowledge. Know how fun that is. Yeah.
Yes, my base of knowledge is entirely based off of Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. Well, he admits it. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that. Wait. Hold on.
Oh.
Okay. So I'm not gonna I don't want to seriously get into this, but someone just said unpopular opinion: if you cheat on your husband and wife, assets should be split 70-30, not 50-50. Whatever. That's a whole other debate. I just like the top comment: marriage is the leading cause of divorce. That is also my response to that statement.
Yeah.
I'm seeing a lot of really. Yeah, I think I'm done there because I'm seeing a lot of very esoteric ones. You know.
Oh, is it just like
Yeah.
a bunch of like fucking Taylor Swift shit or something?
No, it's just shit like the fact that Caddyshack and Happy Gilmore were such funny movies based off such boring sports in existence makes them the greatest comedies. Like, I don't give a
that
fuck.
shit. Okay, yeah, fuck that shit.
Like, we're talking about Brad Leone and Caddyshack and fucking. Oh god, there's one about the Star Wars sequels.
Okay, yeah, we're done.
No,
here. We're done here.
Yeah, closing up shop. Thank you for listening to the Baka Gaijin Show. Subscribe for more. You can join our Discord server, link below. Follow us on Twitter at ZeekFreak, at CCharmanderK, at Saradin Cedranor. We'll see you next time. ZeekFreak out. Ciao, ciao for now.
They tell me that I'm never gonna make it. They want me to do something that could make sense. They hate when I keep dreaming I'll be famous, but I don't give a fuck, I'ma keep chasing. I got all this potential that's deep inside of me, but they hate when you're successful cause they try to be. They sit there being judgmental because you're trying things, and they just want you to settle and do the right thing. So get a good job, don't slack off. Wake up every morning, make a good impression on your boss. Don't do anything that I wouldn't do, and when you're making money, make sure you don't spend it too soon. Fuck that, I'll do what I wanna do. I got a different path from everyone, and that includes